Chapter 81. Absolute Information. So, what is Tsunade-sama going to do about Uchiha? Kakashi asked after the two advisors left. Although those two old guys will be annoying, but what they said is not unreasonable. It is true that Uchiha-chen cannot be left alone. Just as they said just now, Uchiha-chen is also convicted as S-class treason. Issue a wanted order to the outside world. In addition, Sasuke Uchiha's wanted order does not need to be revoked for the time being. No matter what, both of them will be taken back to Konoha. Is it also S-class? In this way, the last three members of the Uchiha clan are all S-class rebels, and they are all brothers. It's really unexpected, Kakashi pondered said. There's nothing you can do about it. It's their own choice. It's an established fact, and we can't change it. The only thing we can do is to bring them back to Konoha. Tsunade turned and told Mute. Mute, you go and do as I say. Go and set up a ninja file for Uchiha-chen, and then publish his wanted notice. Yes, Tsunade-sama, Mute responded, and then left the Hokage office building with the dolphin in his arms. Okay, if there's nothing wrong, you all go down, I still have things to deal with. Tsunade said to everyone present. Yes, Tsunade-sama, we are leaving. Everyone saluted and left the Hokage office building. After leaving the office building, they each left. After everyone left, Tsunade sat back on the chair again, frowning and thinking, Uchiha-chen, this person, actually pretended to be a mocking idiot in order to hide himself. But why is he so strong and high profile now? Is it because someone wanted to harm him at that time, and his strength was not enough? In order to protect himself, he wanted to hide from some people, so he was self-contaminated. Now that the kaleidoscope is turned on, there is no need to hide it. And, there is a lot of hostility towards Konoha. Could it be that the person who wants to be detrimental to him is Konoha? It seems that what is the inside story of the annihilation of the Uchiha clan? Old man, what kind of thing did you leave behind? Give me the mess. Tsunade smiled helplessly. Hee, I never imagined that Uchiha, one of the two major clans who founded Konoha, once made great contributions to Konoha. Now there are only 3 clansmen left in the entire clan, and they have all become Konoha's S-rank traitors. Forbearance, how ironic. Shaking his head, Tsunade didn't think about it, but put this matter aside and dealt with other affairs first. At this time, in a secret base in Konoha, there was a group of people gathered, as if they were talking. Have you found the trace of Uchiha-chen? An old man's voice came from the crowd. Sir, we haven't found any trace of Uchiha-chen. We found out that the last place he appeared was in a small town in the Land of Wind. When we rushed there, Uchiha-chen had already left that small town. I don't know whereabouts. Uchiha never appeared again after that, and we can't grasp his whereabouts. Humph. Keep looking for the useless thing, and find him anyway. After finding it, if conditions permit, then bring him back alive, if not, then kill him on the spot. Bring back the heads to me. Yes. Then a few shadows rushed out, and there was only one old man in kimono left. I saw that this old man was squinting one eye, while the other was wrapped in bandages. It was the leader of the Root Department, Shimura Danzo. The group of people who just left are the elite members of the Root Department. Very good, Uchiha, I didn't expect you to hide so deeply. Even the old man has been deceived by you for so many years. I really regret listening to Sarutobi's words and letting you too easily let go. You both betrayed Konoha. However, I will definitely take you back one by one, and you will not be able to escape from my palm. With a cold snort, Danzo also left. Somewhere in the Land of Rain. Also in a secret base, the core members of the Akatsuki organization are gathering together to discuss something, but it seems that the discussion has been completed, and the members are planning to leave. But as an intelligence officer of the organization, absolutely. He suddenly came to Itachi, who was leaving with the ghost Zhao, and said with a strange smile, Itachi, this time I heard something very interesting from the outside world, are you interested in hearing it? The voice was by Ju issued. Not interested. Itachi glanced at Ju with a blank expression and said indifferently. Then walked past Ju's side, and continued to leave with Gui Zhao. Oh, that's really a pity. I thought you would be interested in your other brother, Uchiha Chen's affairs. If not, then forget it, hee. Hearing Ju Dao's words, Itachi, who was originally expressionless, twitched in the corners of his eyes and stopped. Turn around and stare. Oh, Uchiha Chen, I remember it. Isn't he the same brother of yours that I met last time when Itachi and I went to Konoha to gather information? He seems to be an idiot in the rumors. What's wrong with him? Gui Zhao said in surprise. Tell me what you know. Itachi remained expressionless, with no emotion in his tone. Ya lie. I thought you weren't interested, Baiju said in his funny tone. Huh. Seeing that Ju was still acting weird, Itachi frowned, his eyes turned into a kaleidoscope, staring at Ju sternly. Okay, that's all I said. Really, you can't let me get away with it. Why are you serious? Baiju waved his hand and complained. At this moment, Ju's other body, Hey Ju, said, I told you earlier, don't be funny, I don't want to try the power of a kaleidoscope. Oh, it's just a joke, Baiju said embarrassingly. Humph. Itachi snorted coldly, released the state of the kaleidoscope writing wheel, and the eyes returned to their normal shape. Speak. Actually, 2 days ago, when we were collecting information from the outside world, we happened to meet Konoha's nine-tailed man Zuli and his group who were chasing their rebellion. We followed them out of curiosity. I didn't expect them. The betrayal who was being hunted turned out to be your younger brother. At first, we just thought that that person was Sasuke Uchiha, who betrayed Konoha and took refuge in Orochimaru. Unexpectedly, we finally learned through their conversation that it turned out to be Sasuke Uchiha. Your other younger brother, Uchiha Chen. Chapter 82, Absolute Nonsense. In the Land of Rain, in the secret base of Akatsuki's organization, Itachi was listening to the information that Baiju brought him. The person who Konoha is chasing is not Sasuke Uchiha, but your other younger brother, Chen Uchiha. The one who is called an idiot in Konoha, a fool's waste, Chen Uchiha. Bai Huiwei smiled said. Oh, is it that idiot brother of Itachi? The ghost shark was also interested and asked curiously. Baiju explained to Itachi and the others, yes, that's right. It's Uchiha Chen, but he is not an idiot, but a genius, a very talented genius. In Konoha's rumors, Uchiha Chen is because he couldn't accept the fact that his parents were killed by Itachi, his spirit was hit, and he set up an idiot who couldn't even take care of himself. Unexpectedly, all this was directed and acted by Uchiha Chen himself. He was not stupid at all, but has been pretending to be stupid. Although I don't know what the reason is, it can make him pretend to be a fool and endure humiliation for so many years. But I think it must have something to do with Konoha. Maybe he wants to hide people who have passed Konoha, and then escape from Konoha when the time is right. Moreover, the strength shown by that Uchiha Tatsuya is surprising. He not only did not have any in the battle with Konoha's elite Kakashi he was defeated, but he seriously injured Kakashi. Quote. Oh, Hatake Kakashi. Is that the Kakashi who also has a wheel eye? That guy is not so easy to deal with. Uchiha Chen can seriously injure him. After listening to Baiju's words, the ghost shark who had a face-to-face with Kakashi said in surprise, and even Itachi, who had always been expressionless standing next to him, showed a little surprise. Indeed, after discovering Uchiha Chen, we were very interested in him, so we also investigated and found that this Uchiha Chen is really not an ordinary person. As soon as he escaped from Konoha, he went to the country of the bear alone. A small ninja village called Shingyan Village, and then with his own power, he destroyed this ninja village and took away the sacred object of this ninja village, a thing called Shing. Then he ran to the wind. No country, kidnapped several ninjas from Sheian Village and threatened Sheian Village's Renzuli, but we don't know what his purpose was, and then the people of Sheian Village asked Konoha for help, so there was what I just said, the battle between Uchiha Tatsuya and Kakashi. It turns out that Itachi's idiot brother is such a powerful person, it's really unexpected. Ghost Shark said with a smile. However, I don't understand, didn't he pretend to be a fool all the time and never went to ninja school? Why is he so powerful when there is no one to guide him? If you know he already has the same eyes as Itachi, you won't be so surprised. What? It has the same eyes as Itachi, could it be? At this moment, the ghost shark was really startled, the playful smile on his face was gone, and he was completely surprised, not like installed. Not only him, but Itachi also showed a surprised expression, not knowing what he was thinking. That's right, just like Itachi, Uchiha Chen also evolved Shaker to Kaleidoscope Shaker. In the battle with Kakashi, he also defeated Kakashi with those eyes. Shuga, my stupid brother gave me such a big surprise, I can't wait to see him, where is he? At this time, Itachi, who had never spoken before, said never asked. Well, we only know that he finally followed a subordinate beside Orochimaru. It seems that he was ordered by Orochimaru to invite your brother. I think he should be at Orochimaru's place now. Orochimaru, it's that guy again. One of your younger brothers, Sasuke Uchiha, has taken refuge with him. Does your other brother want to take refuge with him? Do you want to go and get rid of that Orochimaru? He recovered from the surprise, and said to Itachi with a sneer at this time. Hey, Orochimaru, I'll settle the account with him later. Itachi didn't mean to find Orochimaru, and then said to Ju, if there is news about my brother, tell me immediately. Guanju's reaction turned and left. Ghost Shark sneered a few times, then followed Itachi and left together. Only Baiju and Heiju remained in place. Really, you will be able to use people, at least you have to have a begging attitude. Baiju said helplessly. Don't complain anymore, who told you to look for trouble, ask for trouble. Baiju said. Why do you even say that? I just want to see how Itachi will react when he hears the news, or aren't you curious? Baiju said to Heiju. Humph, I'm not as boring as you. Since it's already like this, let's stop complaining and go about our business. After that, in the midst of Baiju's complaints, Ju also dived directly into the ground and disappeared. On the other side, Tianjiguo Yinan village. Chen woke up the next morning after resting all night. Orochimaru is quite sensible. I didn't do anything when I was sleeping last night. After saying that, he got up, tidied up, and then walked outside. When I passed by Sasuke's room, I glanced at it, and sure enough, I found that Sasuke had already woken up and was no longer in the room. Oh, this Sasuke is really working hard. He got up so early, I guess he is going to practice. Chen yawned, and then continued to walk outside. When Chen walked out of the underground base, he saw Shido walking towards him. Is Chen-jun already awake? I was going to call you. The pharmacist came to Chen and said with a smile. Well, what about Orochimaru? Master Orochimaru is guiding Sasuke-kun to practice. Sasuke-kun seems to have received a lot of stimulation yesterday, so he came to Master Orochimaru to guide his practice early this morning. Master Orochimaru said that if Chen-jun gets up, he can take you directly to find him. But I think Chen-jun is already hungry. I'll take you to breakfast first and then go to see Lord Orochimaru. Well, that's fine. Chen didn't immediately go to Orochimaru, because he was really hungry, and planned to fill his stomach before going to Orochimaru. Chen-jun, come with me. P.S. Please subscribe. Tale, 475,137,322. Chapter 83, Lessons from Sasuke. Soon, after filling his stomach, Chen followed the pharmacist to find Orochimaru. The pharmacist took Chen to a training ground, and it could be seen from a distance that Sasuke was practicing desperately in the field, and Orochimaru was standing on the edge of the training field, looking at Sasuke in the field with a smile. Orochimaru sensed that Chen and Yao Shido were approaching, and turned to look at them. Master Orochimaru. The pharmacist came to Orochimaru and saluted. Well, Go and deal with the affairs of the village first. Chen-jun can be entertained by me. Orochimaru waved his hand to the pharmacist and instructed. Yes, Lord Orochimaru. Yao Shido bowed again and then retreated. He tilde Chen-jun, did you rest well last night? Orochimaru greeted Chen with a smile after the pharmacist left. Well, I didn't sleep very well, because I was always worried that when I fell asleep, some bugs would suddenly climb into my room and bite me, so I didn't sleep well all night. Chen Ruo pointedly said. Tilde Chen-jun is joking. Since Chen-jun is a distinguished guest of our Yin Nin village, how can we let some bugs disturb Chen-jun's rest, and I think Chen-jun should not be afraid of those bugs. Of course, Orochimaru could hear Chen's implication, but he wouldn't reveal it, but echoed it with a smile. Hey tilde that's what I said, fortunately there are no bugs crawling in. Otherwise, the insecticidal trick I prepared will come in handy, Chen said with a sneer. Hearing Chen's words, the corners of Orochimaru's eyes twitched slightly and then said with a smirk, Gah, it seems that Chen-jun is really prepared. I don't think there should be any bugs that don't have long eyes to disturb Chen-jun, so Chen-jun, please stay at ease. HMPH, well, don't worry about the bug anymore. It's better if it doesn't come. If it dares to come, then I will naturally have a way to deal with it. Are you ready for the conditions I put forward to you yesterday? Chen, I didn't bother about that problem anymore, and straight to the point, I asked Orochimaru for the first generation cells. Tilde since that's what Chen-jun wants, of course I won't forget it, I already brought that thing. Really? Show me. Chen also couldn't wait to see the so-called intercolumnar cells. Tilde, Orochimaru laughed a few times, and then opened his mouth, only to hear a vomit-like sound coming from Orochimaru's mouth, and then a small test tube for experiment came out of his throat. Stunned. I rely on. Chen was shocked by the disgusting storage method of Orochimaru, and couldn't help but swear. I saw Orochimaru, after spitting out all the test tubes, actually rolled up the test tube with his tongue, and then stuck his tongue out in front of Chen. Chen looked at the test tube that was stretched out in front of him, and was dumbfounded for a while. At this time, the test tube was covered with some unknown liquid, and it kept dripping down. No matter how disgusting it looked, it was either that Chen took it or not. Was stunned for a while. Tilde what's wrong with Chen-jun? This is the first generation cell that Chen-jun wants. Is Chen-jun afraid that I will lie to you? Orochimaru said with a big tongue, because the tongue has been sticked out, so the voice is very strange. He didn't feel anything wrong, because he always stored things like this, and no one had ever disliked it, but it was strange why Chen didn't take over. Orochimaru, don't you have any other storage method? You have to use such a disgusting way. Chen frowned and complained to Orochimaru. Sorry, I'm used to it. If Chen-jun doesn't like it, then I'll clean it up first. Orochimaru also knew why Chen didn't take over the test tube, and laughed a few times. Then the test tube was retracted and swallowed back into the stomach. Chen-jun, wait here for a while, I'll go back when I go. Thank you, thank you. After a few dry laughs, Orochimaru left the training ground. Only Tatsu and Sasuke, who was training hard, were left in the training ground. After Orochimaru left, Chen walked towards Sasuke in the training ground with a playful smile. At this time, Sasuke was practicing ninjutsu. He formed a seal with his hands, used Chidori, and attacked a huge stone pillar in the field. Hearing a loud noise, the stone pillar fell in response, and Sasuke's Chidori smashed the stone pillar without any suspense. And after Sasuke performed Chidori, he seemed to have reached his limit. He was panting heavily, his clothes were soaked with sweat, and he seemed to be very tired. He should have been training for a long time. Isn't this enough? It's really useless, just like you are now. If you want to become stronger and seek revenge on Itachi, you have to wait until the year of the monkey and the horse moon. Sasuke suddenly heard a joking voice coming from behind. No need to look, Sasuke already knew who was coming. Sasuke clenched his teeth and clenched his fists. Just as he turned around, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach. Then he was blasted out by a strong external force and hit another stone pillar. The stone pillar could not bear the pressure and broke. Sasuke, on the other hand, was sitting in front of the ruins of the stone pillar, clutching his stomach, and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. It seemed that he was injured. At this time, he stared fiercely at Chen in front of him. It turned out that when Sasuke turned around just now, Chen kicked him and kicked Sasuke out. What a waste, you can't even dodge this attack. Chen looked at Sasuke with a playful expression, and said with a sneer. Bastard ... Sasuke at this time was completely powerless to do anything. He knew that he would not be Chen's opponent. Even the prosperous self who has entered the second curse state is no match for him at all, let alone the exhausted one now. So Sasuke could only stare at Chen like this, and did not attack Chen like he did yesterday. You seem very unconvinced, am I wrong? Chen still looked at Sasuke with a playful look, and said jokingly. Chapter 84, Obtaining Primary Cells. In a training ground in the village of Ninja, Tatsu was teaching Sasuke a lesson at this time. Looking at your appearance, I still want to be very unconvinced, am I wrong? Chen said jokingly, looking at Sasuke who was kicked by himself and didn't recover for a while with a playful expression. You have been called a genius since you were a child, but you can't even win the tail of a crane. You obviously have the powerful blood of our Uchiha clan, writing round eyes. But you still have to rely on the curse of the sky. And not only is not ashamed of it, but also complacent and addicted to it, unable to extricate itself, it really loses the face of our Uchiha clan. Shut up, it's not your turn to teach me what I do, and I won't care about the other side, as long as it can make me stronger, as long as it can make me have the power to kill him, even if I sell my soul, I am also willing. You who have forgotten the family hatred, what qualifications do you have to tell me about the family's face? Sasuke stared at Chen angrily and shouted at him. Hey, did I say I forgot about the family feud? Isn't it? You already have the same eyes as Itachi. It was because of those eyes that made me faint yesterday, right? You already have such a strong strength, why didn't you kill me? He avenged his parents and clansmen. Whatever you say, I don't need to prove anything to you. And you can do whatever you like, and I don't bother to care about you. But if you dare to interfere with me in the future, I will definitely take care of you. Humph ... Chen sneered at Sasuke, then turned to leave. Damn ... Sooner or later, I will definitely kill you, and I will make you repay the humiliation imposed on me today. Looking at Chen's back, Sasuke secretly said resentfully. Oh, that's right. Chen, who was about to leave, suddenly turned around and came back with an extra scroll in his hand. Chen came to Sasuke again and said to him, your strength is too weak, you clearly have mastered such a potential ninjutsu as Chidori, but you can only die in practice, and you won't be flexible, it's such a waste. However, you are my brother Uchiha Tatsuya anyway. If you are too weak, I will feel embarrassed. Also, for the sake of taking care of me when you were in Konoha, I will take this. The scroll is for you. It records some of my ninjutsu, practice hard, don't lose my face. Quote. After Chen finished speaking, he threw the scroll in his hand at Sasuke's feet. This scroll was made by Chen himself last night, and it recorded some of the ninjutsu that Chen had learned, including the Chidori Ryu Chidori spear and the Thunder Tiger killing, which was copied from Kakashi. Not only that, Chen spent 10,000 points last night to exchange 2 A-rank fire ninjutsu with the system. One is the technique of singing dragon flames, and the other is the technique of arrogant fire extinguishing. Chen also wrote these 2 fire escapes on the scroll. Looking at Sasuke's puzzled eyes, Chen sneered, and without explaining anything, he directly formed a seal with both hands. Fire escape. Longyan art of singing. I saw Chen spit out several fire dragons from his mouth, and suddenly rushed towards the training ground. Directly bombarded an open space. After a few loud noises, when the smoke cleared, the entire training ground was almost razed to the ground, and the power was so great that Sasuke was horrified. After Chen walked a distance, Sasuke recovered from the shock just now and stared blankly at the scroll under his feet. Tilde. Chen sneered a few times, ignored Sasuke's reaction, and left without saying a word. As soon as he walked out of the training ground, he encountered the oncoming Orochimaru, and he was still holding something in his hand, which was the test tube containing the first-generation cells that he planned to give to Chen. Because of Chen's dislike, Orochimaru also deliberately cleaned the test tube, and then sent it to Chen. Hey Chen-Jun can tell me, what happened when there was such a big movement from the training ground just now? Orochimaru asked Chen with a weird smile. Oh, it's nothing, it's just that I was in a panic at the training ground, and I just played a ninjutsu. I hope you don't take offense. So that's the case. I thought that Sasuke attacked Chen-jun again when I left. Since there is no, then I can rest assured. Okay, don't worry about what I will do to Sasuke. He is my brother no matter what. I will teach him a lesson at most. It won't kill him. You can rest assured. I'm relieved of this, and let Chen-jun laugh, because Sasuke is really important to me, and I can't let him make any mistakes. Okay, I understand. Chen waved his hand impatiently, expressing that he didn't want to listen to Orochimaru's nonsense anymore. Okay, since Chen-jun is already impatient, let's get down to business first. The test tube in my hand contains the primary cells you want, and I will give it to you now. You can rest assured that I have cleaned this test tube. Okay. Orochimaru raised the test tube in his hand and said to Chen. Give it to me, let me see. After hearing what Orochimaru said, Chen couldn't wait to grab the test tube from Orochimaru's hand, let the system scan it, and then ask the system in his mind, System, help me to see if this is the primary cell. Answer to the host, the cells in this test tube are full of active chakra and contain a strong vitality, and there is nothing abnormal. The system scanned it and replied to Chen. It seems that this thing should contain the cells of the first Hokage. It seems that Orochimaru didn't do anything in it, that's good. After receiving the system's affirmation, Chen also put the test tube back with confidence. Down. I'm curious, can Chen-jun tell me what you want to do when you ask me for this thing? Does Chen-jun want to transplant the first generation of cells? This thing is not so easy to fuse. Yes, I have done this kind of experiment before, the success rate is very low, only 1 in 60, and the results are very unsatisfactory. Except that the experimental subject can use some low-level wooden escapes, there is nothing special. If Chen-jun really wants to transplant, maybe I can help you. No need. P.S. Please customize. Chapter 85, Training in Virtual Space. Does Chen-jun want to transplant the first-generation cells? If so, maybe I can help. No, I just saw the relevant information in the old laboratory, and I am very curious about this first-generation cell, so I want to see what it is, and I want to study it myself. Chen put the test tube in his hand, into the pocket, and then into the space. So that's the case, is Chen-jun also doing research? I didn't expect Chen-jun to be interested in this area, so we might as well communicate with each other in the future. Orochimaru said with a smile. Definitely. Chen was eager to study the first-generation cells, so he casually sent Orochimaru. Okay, I'll just go for a walk first. You can guide Sasuke, you don't have to accompany me. Is that so? Then I'll go to Sasuke first, and Chen-jun will go shopping in our Yinin village first. If you need anything, just go to the pocket, he will take care of it. Well, I see, then I'll leave first. After Chen said goodbye to Orochimaru, he left alone. It looks like I can't wait, is it really just curiosity? This Uchiha Chen has too many secrets, it's getting more and more interesting. Looking at the back of Chen's departure, Orochimaru revealed weird smile, muttered to himself. Then, without further thinking, he turned and walked towards the training ground. As for Chen, after separating from Orochimaru, he returned directly to his residence. Sitting on the only chair in the room, Chen took out the test tube that had just been put into the space, and looked at it in his hand. The cells of the first generation of Hokage. System, if I directly transplant the cells of this first generation, can I master the wood escape? Answer to the host. It is theoretically possible, but I do not recommend the host to be transplanted directly. Because if the host is transplanted directly, even if it is successful, the wood escape that can be mastered is not perfect, and it is impossible to use more advanced wood escape ninjutsu. Except for some low-level wooden escapes and a little vitality, the effect is very limited. In this way, this rare material is wasted, so I do not recommend the host to use this method. Is it just like this? Is there any way to solve this problem? Hearing the system, Chen also gave up the plan to directly transplant the first-generation cells into himself. However, Chen is still not reconciled, so he wants to ask the system if there are other better methods. Yes, the host can pay 50,000 points to the system, and the system will help the host to transplant, which can help the host to integrate these cells in the most perfect way. In this way, the host can not only master advanced wooden escapes other than fairy spells, but also enhance the physical quality, increase chakra volume and recovery ability, and also have a strong vitality. Quote. 50,000 points. Compared with the need to spend 100,000 points to exchange for mutton, if you transplant it, you can save 50,000 points, which is really good. However, I only have 31,000 points left, and I exchanged those points yesterday. To A-level fire escape ninjutsu spent 10,000 points, so there are only 21,000 points left, which is far from enough. It seems that it is impossible to master the wood escape immediately, and this idea can only be temporarily stranded. Chen shook his head helplessly, and put the test tube in his hand back into the space. It seems that the speed at which I get points is really too slow. I must improve the efficiency of getting points as soon as possible. Otherwise, I think the situation today will be the same in the future, or if there is an emergency, but I don't have points, it will be very bad. There is one very important thing, that is to improve my actual combat experience, otherwise it will be troublesome if I encounter any difficult opponents. Chen thought of the duel with Kakashi a few days ago, due to his actual combat. Inexperienced, he also has the strength of elite Jonin, but he was suppressed by Kakashi from beginning to end. In the end, he had to rely on the kaleidoscope to win, which made Chen feel very aggrieved. System, is there any way to improve my combat awareness and actual combat experience? Answer the host. The host can use 10,000 points to exchange for a virtual battle space, and the host's consciousness can play against any virtual opponent in that virtual space, and all consumption and damage in the space have nothing to do with reality, and the time ratio in space is 10 hours in space and just over an hour outside. Virtual space. 10,000 points. There are not many points now, but... After thinking about it, he gritted his teeth and decided to exchange for virtual space. You can earn more points if you run out of points, but the most important thing now is to consolidate your strength first, and then get points, so that even if I encounter a difficult opponent like Kakashi, I will not be so passive. System, exchange for me. Virtual space. Quote. Virtual space, item level, S level, need to exchange points. 10,000, do you want to exchange? Exchange. Ding, the redemption is successful, the points deducted. 10,000, the remaining points of the host, 11,000. Quote. As soon as the system's voice fell, a warm current flowed from Chen's body into his brain, and then a piece of information appeared in his brain. It's about virtual space. It turns out that this virtual space can actually imagine any opponent you want to fight with you. In it, even if you use a kaleidoscope, you don't have to worry about your vision loss. Moreover, you can also change the battle with your own thoughts. The terrain is so powerful that it is worthy of being produced by the system. Then, let's try it first. Quote. Chen returned to his wound and lay down, closed his eyes, and then thought. When he opened his eyes, he found himself in an unknown space. I saw that the space I was in was all white, and it was very broad, as if it had no boundaries. There are no obstacles around, and only Chen is alone in the huge space. Is this a virtual space? Then, the next step is to choose an opponent, so choose him first. Chen's thoughts moved, and then the space Chen was in immediately changed. Originally, there was nothing, and the surrounding white space gradually turned into a forest, and there was also a small river. At this time, Chen was standing there, above the creek. Moreover, Chen did not know when a person was standing in front of him. Staring at Chen indifferently, there is no emotion in his eyes, as if he is a puppet without a soul. This person, like Chen, is also standing on the water of the small river, dressed in a Konoha Jonin costume, with silver hair, a mask on his face, and one of the eyes is a 3-go jade riding wheel. This person is the Konoha elite joinin who fought Chen not long ago. Hatake Kakashi. The first person Chen wants to fight is Kakashi. Chapter 86. Improved Strength. Yinnin village is still in the hall before that, but at this time, there are only 2 people in the hall, Orochimaru and Yaoshido. Hee, isn't Chen-jun awake yet? Not yet, Lord Orochimaru. Since noon yesterday, Chen-jun has been staying in the room and never came out. I have already gone to him several times, and there is no response from the room. We don't know that he is in the room. What? Orochimaru-sama, shall we force the door to open? Humph tilde no need. Uchiha Chen's strength is very strong. If he wants to kill you, even I am not sure that I can save you. So you better not try to do things that make him angry. And he is also a guest of our Yinnin village. How can we do something rude to the guest? Tilde. Is this Uchiha Chen so strong? Even Lord Orochimaru is not sure that he can subdue Uchiha Chen. It's dangerous, but fortunately I didn't do anything to make him angry. Otherwise, I should be a corpse by now. Come on. Yaoshido showed a look of fear, but it could be heard from the tone of his voice that he was not as frightened as he appeared to be. That's right, if my arms are intact, maybe I'm a little bit sure, but now. Of course, this is only based on the premise that Uchiha Chen didn't use a kaleidoscope. If he used a kaleidoscope, then, even me, I have to fall into a hard battle. Orochimaru said here. The casual expression on his face became solemn. In short, in any case, you don't need to do anything that makes Uchiha Chen unhappy. If he has any requirements, as long as it is not too excessive, try to satisfy him. This person may be useful to me in the future. The pharmacist thought to himself, as kaleidoscope writing round eyes. Those eyes are really so powerful that they can even make Lord Orochimaru so odd. However, it's not my turn to worry about this kind of thing, as long as Chen Uchiha is in Yinnin village. Then I will do my best to meet his requirements. In this case, he has no reason to shoot at me. At the same time, he replied to Orochimaru, yes, Lord Orochimaru. Hey tilde very good, you go down to deal with the affairs first, you don't have to stay with me here. It's Orochimaru-sama, I'll take my leave first. After Yaoshido bowed to Orochimaru, he exited the hall, leaving Orochimaru alone. I stayed in the room all day and didn't come out. Is it because of yesterday's first-generation cells? Could it be that Uchiha Chen is really researching first-generation cells in the room? I didn't expect Uchiha Chen to really do research. I'm surprised. After the pharmacist walked away, Orochimaru showed a playful smile and muttered to himself. Strange, why didn't Sasuke-kun ask me to guide him in his cultivation today? On the other side, in Chen's room, Chen was lying on the bed very quietly, with his eyes closed, as if he was asleep. Suddenly, Chen, who had not moved at all, suddenly opened his eyes and sat up from the bed. Chen, who was sitting on the bed, suddenly shook his head, laughed at himself. Haha. I didn't expect Kakashi in the virtual space to be so strong, even I had to sacrifice several times to kill him. It turned out that Chen entered the virtual space yesterday, and the first person to fight against was Kakashi. At the beginning, the transformed Kakashi only had the strength of the Junin, but even the strength of the Junin still caused a lot of trouble to Chen. Although he was killed by Chen in the end. Unexpectedly, after Chen Zhang beheaded Kakashi with the strength of Shangnin, another Kakashi appeared, and the strength shown by this Kakashi reached the level of elite Shangin, stronger than the previous one. Phew, with the strength of the shadow level, Chen also spent a lot of effort to kill the elite level of Kakashi. But even if he won in the end, Chen was still injured a little bit. When Chen paid a lot of money to kill Kakashi, who had the strength of the elite, he once again transformed into a Kakashi in the space. Unexpectedly, the strength of this newly emerged Kakashi has reached the shadow level. And Chen's strength is comparable. As soon as this Kakashi came out, he launched a fierce attack on Chen, and whether it was fighting consciousness or ability, it was too much higher than Chen. Kakashi was killed by Kakashi. Then, Chen was reborn in the virtual space and fought with Kakashi again. The result was the same. He was shown by Kakashi's fighting consciousness and experience, and he could not escape death in the end. It was the third time after that. Chen also made progress in the battle with Kakashi. His fighting awareness and actual combat experience were gradually accumulating. From the very beginning, he was able to fight dozens of moves and was killed, and then insisted. Time is getting longer. All this shows Chen's progress. Chen did not have the ability to use a kaleidoscope to write a wheel eye in battle. In order to improve his fighting awareness, he has been fighting with his own ninjutsu and taijutsu. After experiencing several deaths, Chen has grown to the point where he can fight a Tai with shadow-level Kakashi. Therefore, the battle between the two has been marked for a long time. Fortunately, the time ratio in the virtual space is 10:1, so although Chen is inside for a long time, it is only a few hours in the outside world. After Dangchen relied on his own strength to finally decapitate the shadow-level Kakashi, 24 hours had passed in the outside world, which was a full day, and 10 days in the virtual space. Chen spent 10 days, and during these 10 days, Chen has been fighting without sleep. Finally, I have grown my combat awareness and actual combat experience to the point where I can compete with the shadow-level powerhouses without relying on the kaleidoscope. The shadow-level powerhouse challenged. Until this moment, Chen Kai was considered to be a real powerhouse, and he would no longer be the same as before, because of lack of actual combat experience and combat awareness, being suppressed by enemies of the same level. Sorry, there are a lot of things to do these days, so I write very casually, so I am very watery. Please bear with me, because after this month's Madara, I am free and have a lot of time to write. At that time, I will definitely redouble my efforts. I will write more after I think about it, and I will repay you with more, thank you. Chapter 87, Finding Geral's Stone. At this moment, Chen just came out of the virtual space. My current strength is already a veritable shadow level. Even if I encounter Kakashi who also has shadow level strength and rich combat experience, I will no longer be passive as before. It should be its time to earn points. Let's go to Orochimaru first. How can you say that she is also the owner of this place? Since she's planning to leave, let's go and see him first, and I don't know what I'm asking him about. Have you? Thinking of this, Chen pushed open the door of his room and walked out. Chen Xian went to the previous hall, and found that Orochimaru happened to be there, and Yao Shido was by his side. And when Orochimaru saw Chen coming in, he showed a weird smile. He said to Chen in a hoarse voice, Chen-Jun finally came out. You have been in the room for a day and a night. I am really worried about what happened to Chen-Jun, but I am worried about what kind of cultivation Chen-Jun is doing. So I didn't dare to let Do bother you. I'm really doing a practice, so I haven't come out for so long. I'm sorry I didn't tell you in advance. No need to apologize, as long as Chen-Jun is fine. Okay, I don't need to say more polite words. I came here to ask you, has there been any strange thing happening in the ninja world recently? Also, how about the thing I asked you about before? It turned out that Chen had asked Orochimaru about one thing before, and that was to let Orochimaru pay attention to a strange caravan for him, which was related to one of Chen's tasks. Because when Chen first came to Yinan village, he suddenly thought that in his previous life, Chen had seen a theatrical version of Hokage, and the theatrical version said that a long time ago, a country once had a very magical something called Geral's Stone. This stone contains magical powers, and later the people of that country destroyed themselves because of the war caused by the Stone of Geral, leaving only a few young clansmen. In the end, they woke up and sealed the Geral Stone in the depths of the ground, and vowed not to allow the Geralt stone to reappear. Chen just wanted to play the idea of the Geralt stone. Since the system can recycle rare treasures, the system should be able to recycle such a magical thing as the Geralt stone. If you grab the Geralt stone and then hand it over to the system to convert it into points, you will definitely be able to make a lot of money. And the so-called Geralt stone is not just one piece. It was mentioned in the original book that it is a whole vein of ore. If all of them are taken out and exchanged for points, how many points can be exchanged? It's a little small to think about. Excited. After hearing about Chen's culture, Orochimaru gave a strange laugh, and then replied, "There are indeed a lot of strange things happening in the ninja world, but they are all unimportant things. As for what Chen Jun asked me about, I have already asked Do to investigate. There is indeed a strange caravan traveling in various countries, and their characteristics are consistent with what Chen Jun described. I think that should be Chen Jun looking for a caravan. We the people who are now following the caravan are keeping track of their whereabouts. According to the latest news, the caravan is now on its way to the Land of Wind, and Chen Jun can find them at any time." The Land of Wind. It seems that the plot is about to start. I don't know if I can catch up. After hearing the information from Orochimaru, Chen frowned and said, "Chen Jun, can you tell me why you are interested in this caravan? I once sent someone to test it out. They are really just an ordinary wandering caravan, and there is nothing special about it. The only strange thing is, their people said that they once had a country, but in the end it perished for no apparent reason, so they had to travel between countries. It's nothing, I just wanted to ask them something." "Oh, to inquire about something." Orochimaru looked at Chen thoughtfully, and asked with a chuckle, "What is the thing Chen Jun wants to inquire about? Maybe I can help you." "I'm going to ask them about the Geralt stone." "Well, I'm running out of time. I must find them quickly. Tell me, where are they?" Chen was eager to find the caravan because he was worried that he would be late. "The darling is about to fly." It seems that Chen Jun is really in a hurry. Then I will delay Chen Jun. That strange caravan is now on its way to the country of wind. I have sent people to follow them so they won't get lost. As long as Chen Jun first feels the small town of the Land of Wind, there will be someone from us to meet you, and then he will take you to find the caravan. "Thank you very much. It's not too late, I'll go straight." Chen left the hall without waiting for Orochimaru to say anything. Can it be the Geralt stone? It can make Uchiha Chen so nervous. What kind of treasure is the so-called Geralt stone? I'm really curious. After Chen left the hall, Orochimaru showed a playful expression, and then instructed the pharmacist on the side. "Do, you secretly follow up and see what is the amazing thing about this Geralt stone, but don't let Uchiha Chen find out." Quote. "I understand, Lord Orochimaru." If they all bowed to Orochimaru, they would also leave the hall. After Chen came out of Yunnan village, he hurried directly in the direction of the Land of Wind. He wanted to grab the Geralt stone before Naruto destroyed it. Because the system has issued a task to him. Ding. The system has issued a task. Snatch the Geralt stone. The host must grab the Geralt stone before it is destroyed. The task reward: 50,000. The task fails penalty: 50,000 points will be deducted. Quote. Haha every time I want to get something, the system will appropriately issue a snatch task. It seems that the system really has the nature of a robber. However, I thought of it together. Anyway, that's me. Whatever I like, I have to get it no matter what. I hope it will be too late. Thinking of this, Chen accelerated his speed. What Chen didn't know was that after he left Yinren village, Yaoshido also left Yinren village. He was sent by Orochimaru to follow Chen, but instead of following Chen, he chose another path. He just needs to take a shortcut before Chen arrives at XX City in the Land of Winds, and then just wait there. Chen will definitely go anyway. He doesn't need to follow Chen all the time. In this way, both of them rushed in the direction of the Land of Wind. Small tale, 475,137,322. Alas, the boss said that I have to work another day tomorrow, so I can't help it if I don't want to go, and the salary hasn't been received yet. Chapter 88, Find the Caravan. After a long journey, Chen finally arrived at the Land of Wind and came to the small town that Orochimaru said, and it was already late at night, and there were no pedestrians at the gate of the small town, and it was quiet. Orochimaru said that there will be someone to come here. I think Orochimaru has probably already told his subordinates about me. He should be able to recognize me. I don't know if I'm here. After Chen came to the small town, he didn't know where should I go. I simply stayed at the city gate, waiting for the people from Orochimaru to come and respond. Sure enough, it didn't take long. Chen sensed that someone was peeping at him, but Chen did not feel the hostility of the other party. Is he from Orochimaru? Chen snorted coldly, and shouted in the direction of the voyeur, "Humph! Get out!" However, the man still did not move, and did not give Chen any face. Chi, don't eat a toast and eat a penalty drink. When Chen saw the person who came, he thought he had not been discovered, and left Chen to the side and did not show up, making Chen very unhappy. Chen quickly formed a seal with both hands, and then cast it towards the man's hiding place. Fire escape. How to use the fireball technique. The big fireball with a diameter of 2 meters attacked aggressively in that direction. Just when the fireball was about to hit the target, a figure suddenly appeared from nowhere. Boom! Chen's arrogant fireball hit the target directly, blowing up the place where the man was hiding just now. But that person avoided even though, so he was not hurt. At this time, that person was standing not far in front of Chen, staring at Chen with a sneer. Hehe tilde, are you the genius Uchiha-sama that Orochimaru-sama said? I really don't understand why Orochimaru-sama always brings back some trash, but he's just a stinky boy who dares to be called a genius. Really, it's ridiculous. For a guy like you, I can easily kill a large group of people. Haha tilde, that Orochimaru's subordinate was taunting Chen at this time. Who are you talking about? Just when Yin Ren was still complacent, a stern voice suddenly came from behind, making his expression instantly freeze. Then, before he could react, he felt a huge force behind him, knocking him straight out. It's Chen. When the guy made a rude remark, he ran behind the Yin Ren at a very fast speed. Because of the speed, the Yin Ren couldn't see Chen's figure, and he was caught by Chen before he could react. He kicked and flew out. PFF how is that possible? I saw that Yin Ren was knocked flying, fell to the ground, and spat out a mouthful of blood, said incredulously. When he raised his head with difficulty, he found that Chen had appeared in front of him at some point, looking down at him with disdain in his eyes. Hey, you should really be glad that you are still useful to me, otherwise it will not be as simple as just getting hurt. If you don't have any strength, don't jump out and pretend, that's my patent. Chen looked at the lying indifferently on the ground. Yin Nin said, Orochimaru changed and told you the purpose of my visit. Where is that caravan now? Hurry up and take me there. Right, I'm sorry. The name Yin Ren felt the murderous aura emanating from Chen, and even the one who had killed many people felt terrified, and he dared not to have the slightest bit of arrogance he just showed, and said cautiously. Chen, the caravan that Lord Chen is looking for has not yet arrived in the Land of Wind. When I came to receive Lord Chen, they were camping in a forest. They should be resting. I still have a companion as watching. Humph, take me there. Yes, Lord Chen, I'll take you there. Hearing Chen's words, Nayan did not dare to neglect at all, struggling to stand up from the ground despite the pain. Please come with me. Then he led the way in front of him, walking in one direction. Chen followed behind him. Because Nayan endured the injury, the speed of the journey was not fast. After rushing for a while, Chen said impatiently, how far is it? Lord Chen, please be patient, we will be there soon. Humph, no way. Chen Yi had no choice but to endure and continue on his way. Fortunately, not long after, he finally saw a forest. That Yin Ren stopped, pointed to the forest in front of him and said respectfully to Chen, Lord Chen, this is the front, the caravan rests in the forest in front. Wait for me to contact some of my companions first, let him talk about what's inside. Go. Yes, Lord Chen. After Nayan Ren finished speaking, he saw that he took out a small snake from nowhere, placed it lightly on the ground, and then the small snake rushed towards the forest on its own. Not long after the little snake entered the forest, a figure emerged from the forest. After a few jumps, he came to Chen. "Yo, it took so long to come back. I thought you were killed by someone, and you won't be able to come back." The voice ninja who just appeared said jokingly to the previous voice ninja. It seems that their so-called partnership is not very good. Then the tone ninja turned his eyes to Chen on the other side, and said yin and yang strangely, "Is this the Uchiha Chen that Lord Orochimaru said?" "It's just a stinky brat. Lord Orochimaru actually asked me to obey his orders." "Hello, little devil, don't think that you can let me listen to you with the orders of Lord Orochimaru, stop joking." Before the name Yin Ren could finish speaking, Chen Yi Shunshu came to him in an instant, grabbed his neck when he didn't react, and lifted him up. Nayan stuck out her tongue in pain, unable to speak. His feet were kicking indiscriminately, but he couldn't break free from Chen's hand. "Tell me, is that caravan still in the forest?" Nayan Shinobi immediately nodded frantically, and begged Chen to let him go with a pleading look, but after getting the answer he wanted, Chen's hand suddenly increased his strength, directly snapping the neck of that name. That Yin Ren didn't even let out a scream, and was killed by Chen. He casually threw that Yin Ren's body on the ground, then turned to the other who had been frightened and said with a savage smile, "Okay, since I have reached my destination, it is useless to keep you guys, I will remember it in my next life. Stay, don't pretend if you don't have the strength in the future, because there will be 4 of them." "Lord Chen, you..." After listening to Chen's words, Nayan Ren rushed to the scene immediately, and without thinking about it, he turned around and wanted to escape. But just after he turned around, there was a sharp pain in his chest, and finally only one arm penetrated from his chest, and then his eyes went black and he lost consciousness. "Humph, I am a very vengeful person. If someone offends me, I will make him disappear from this world. If you want to blame it, you are too arrogant, and you dare to run up to me and pretend to be a force." After wiping the corpse with his hand, he ignored the 2 corpses and ran towards the forest. Not long after Chen entered the forest, a figure appeared in front of the 2 Tonin corpses. The man first checked the 2 corpses, and then said with a sneer, I just died not long ago, and they were all killed in one blow, really cruel. Uchiha Chen. Small tale, 475,137,322. I beg you to give me a little more time, only 2 days, because the new employee has not arrived yet, so the boss won't let me go, and the salary has not been paid to me. I'm sorry everyone. TT. Chapter 89, Appearance. Not long after Chen entered the forest, he found a place where fire was flickering. When he walked over, he saw that the fire was coming from a cave. Are they inside? Very good. Just grab the old man from the caravan, and let him tell the ore vein of the Garel stone. Chen thought of this, and was about to leave when he suddenly saw the cave running from the cave. A figure appeared, causing Chen's movements to stop. I saw that man with long yellow hair, wearing a knight's armor, and holding an old man in his hand, jumped on a horse outside the hole and walked away. Isn't that guy the Tem News in the theatrical version? Interesting. It seems that this will save me a lot of time. Chen didn't immediately follow, because he knew that someone would come out to give he leads the way. Sure enough, it didn't take long before a ferret rushed out of the cave and chased in the direction Temsen fled just now, and 3 people were following behind the ferret. Those 3 people were none other than Naruto Uzumaki, Shikamaru Nara, and Sakura Haruno, who had met with Chen not long ago. Keep up with them, and you will be able to find the ore of Garel's stone. Don't be in a hurry, let Naruto and the others make a fuss for a while, so that I can take advantage of the fisherman. Seeing Naruto after they disappeared from his sight, Chen immediately stood up and ran towards Naruto's direction. And after Chen left for a while, another figure jumped out, came to the place where Chen was just now, looked thoughtfully in the direction of Chen's disappearance, and muttered to himself, things have become interesting. I would like to see what the so-called Geralt stone is that makes Uchiha Chen so nervous. Then this man followed. This person was the pharmacist who was sent by Orochimaru to follow Chen. In fact, he came here after Chen had just killed the two Yinren, but he knew that Chen's strength was too strong, and he was afraid that Chen would notice him. So he didn't dare to get too close to Chen's range. And it can be seen from the fact that Uchiha Chen killed the two sound ninjas. Uchiha Chen didn't care if they were from Orochimaru. If he annoyed Uchiha Chen, he would definitely kill him without hesitation. Dropped. On the other side, Temsin took the old man to a huge palace that was already very dilapidated, and after sending a signal, he took the old man into the palace. After that, Naruto and the others followed the ferret into the palace. And after they all entered the palace, Chen, who was following behind them, did not rush to follow, but hid in a hidden place outside the palace. Let's wait and see a good show. Sure enough, not long after, there was a slight roar from a distance, and at the same time the ground shook slightly. I saw a huge machine appearing in the distance, showing its shape, like a huge moving castle and driving towards the palace at a very fast speed. As the behemoth approached, the roar became louder and louder. The magnitude of the ground vibration is also increasing. In just a few minutes, the huge machine came to the front of the palace, but the machine did not seem to stop. Instead, it stretched out a few huge drills from the front and hit the palace directly, knocking the palace into. After opening a huge crack, the machine finally stopped. After the machine stopped, Chen Yi walked out of the hiding place, came to the huge machine, and looked at the huge machine in front of him with interest. This thing is high-tech, I can't think of it in the world of Naruto. There is still such a thing, but this cumbersome thing is of no use to me, so I don't care about it. Then he left the giant machine and walked towards the palace. After Chen entered the palace, he found that Naruto and Shikamaru were holding on to another group of people, and Naruto seemed to be shouting something. From their conversation, we learned that the group of high-tech people, their leader is called Hyde, and their purpose is to get the Geralt stone. But just when Naruto shouted at them to attract the attention of the other party, the old man who was caught at the beginning quietly triggered some mechanism, and then a huge hole appeared from under his feet. The old man and the Temshuan at the same time. After falling into the hole will automatically close again. Immediately afterwards, the guy named Hyde destroyed the hole and chased after him. Not to be outdone, Naruto also jumped into the hole. As for the outside, only Konoha, Fangs, Shikamaru and Sakura are left. The villain is Hyde's two female subordinates. The two sides refused to accept it and went to work. After a fight, Hyde's two female subordinates were directly crushed by their IQs. All of them were killed by Sakura alone, while Shikamaru killed the other with Kankuro, who had just arrived. When they were fighting just now, Chen Zhao entered the huge hole while no one was paying attention, and fell all the way to the bottom of the cave. After waiting, I saw that Naruto had already dealt with the guy named Hyde, and the guy named Temsin and the old man were already lying on the ground, and they seemed to be seriously injured. I saw that Naruto separated dozens of shadow clones to attack Hyde, but Naruto was not Hyde's opponent. At this time, Hyde was completely different from what he looked like just now, as if he had undergone some kind of transformation. His muscles were bulging, his skin was gray, and there were four things that resembled a Taoist jade behind him. Naruto's shadow clone had no power to fight back in front of Hyde, and they were all wiped out by Hyde, and even Naruto himself was beaten to the ground by Hyde. Ha ha ha, I think you should give up. Hyde came to Naruto and said with a chuckle. However, Naruto did not give up because of this. He reached out and grabbed Hyde's feet, struggling to get up again. Let me give up. Stop joking. Hyde sneered, and then kicked Naruto out with one foot. With such great strength, Naruto hit the stone wall directly, knocking the stone wall into cracks, and then fell off. Damn, I won't let you succeed. Naruto was like an unbeatable Xiaoqiang, but after a while, he stood up again. What are you talking about over there? I think it's almost time for you to go to the Utopia. Just when the two of them wanted to continue the war, they also discovered that there was an uninvited guest at some point, and asked them to stunt. I said, why are you all looking at me? You beat you, don't care about me. Seeing that everyone's eyes were focused on him, Chen said with a smile. Chapter 90, Shots. When Naruto and Hyde were about to teach again, they both found that another person came down from the hole, which made them stunned for a while. Sasuke. No, you are Chen. How could you be here? After seeing Chen's appearance, Naruto was stunned for a moment, then subconsciously thought it was Sasuke, but after hearing Chen's teasing, he immediately recognized the person in front of him as not his good friend, Sasuke Uchiha. Why can't I be here? Do I have to ask you for directions to where Uchiha Chen wants to go? Chen mocked Naruto. Naruto hurriedly explained to Chen, I didn't mean that, I was just curious, why did you come here? And Naruto still wanted to say something, but was interrupted by Chen reaching out his hand. Okay, don't say more, I really don't have the heart to talk nonsense with you, I still have business to do, please do it yourself. Then he turned around very much. Curiously looked at Hyde. This guy named Hyde should have the Geralt stone on his body. Hey there's another one coming, it seems that the death toll is going to increase again. However, there's nothing you can do about it. After being surprised, Hyde sneered again, and then said, I don't want to be entangled with you anymore. Let me send you all to the Utopia. I saw that Hyde raised his right hand to Chen, and instantly sent out an invisible attack from his right hand. When he sensed the danger, Chen immediately jumped away. The invisible attack hit where Chen was just now, shattering the ground. This kind of attack, is it the power of the Geralt stone? The thing inlaid on the back of his right hand is the Geralt stone, it's just a small piece of it can have this kind of power, this Geralt stone really is good stuff. There's a whole vein of Geralt stone here, so I just need to clean up all the guys that get in the way. Chen thought of this, then turned to Naruto and said, Hey. Naruto, if you don't want to die, take those two guys on the ground with you and leave here, I won't care about you for a while. Chen, do you want to deal with him alone? No, I can't go. I swore I would never leave my companions behind, so I definitely won't run away. Naruto didn't seem to listen to Chen immediately. Instead, he shouted some nonsense. Damn it, find out the situation for me, when did I say that I would become a companion with you? Don't make up your own mind, the guy who gets in your way, get me out of here quickly. Hearing Naruto's words, Rangchen was very upset, he directly threatened him. I will do my best and I won't have any scruples, so if you don't want the two guys on the ground to be affected, you'd better take them all away to me immediately, otherwise don't blame me. Get out of here. Damn, I know, be careful yourself. Hearing Chen's words, Naruto was also worried about the safety of the old man and Tem Shuan, so he didn't insist, and then separated a shadow clone and took the old man and Tem Shuan together. Shuan picked up his back, intending to leave. But the old man was not happy anymore, and shouted, Naruto, we can't just leave, we must stop Hyde, and no matter what, we can't let the Geralt stone reappear, otherwise the consequences will be disastrous. So, we must destroy the Geralt stone. Don't worry, old man, I'm here to do this, I will clean up all the Geralt stones here. From now on, there will be no more Geralt stones here, so give me shut up obediently and get out of here immediately. Okay, Dad, let's trust Chen. It's very dangerous here. In short, I have to send you all out first. After Naruto finished speaking, he ignored the old man's protest and ran towards the hole where he came from. Want to escape. I told you to go to the Utopia, how can you just leave? Seeing Naruto and the others leaving, Hyde sneered and raised his right hand to face him. Acknowledged Naruto and the others, and planned to launch a few attacks on them. Don't take me seriously, since I said let them leave, I must promise to let them all leave. At the moment when Hyde raised his hand, Chen had already shot a kunai at Hyde. But it was blocked by a defense transformed by the four balls similar to Chu Daoyu behind Hyde. This kind of attack is useless to me. You and Naruto are companions, so why would you choose to stay alone in order to let your companions escape? What a touching friendship. However, in my opinion, you are both stupid child. I have already told Naruto and the others not to interfere in my affairs. Why are you disobedient? Alas, forget it. I will send you to the Utopia first, and then I will let Naruto and the others go down to accompany you, so you won't be too lonely. After Hyde blocked Chen's kunai, they had already fled when he looked at Naruto. However, Hyde was not in a hurry to hunt down Naruto and the others, because Naruto and Temsen were just a few pawns that he could use. Now that he has found the Garel ore vein, those pawns are irrelevant. It's urgent. The most important thing now is to get all the ore veins of Garel's stone in the bag, and it's not too late to go to them after his own affairs are done. As for the young man in front of him, he didn't even pay attention to it. What nonsense are you talking about in there alone? Which eye did you see me and that idiot Naruto becoming companions? Forget it. Anyway, you are all about to die, and I don't bother to be with you. Nonsense. Oh, stop being arrogant. It's almost time for you to go to the Utopia. I saw Hyde on the opposite side with a grim smile, raised his right hand inlaid with Garel's stone, and shot an invisible attack to Chen. But at this moment, Chen, who was in front of him just now, suddenly disappeared from his sight. Nani? Before he could finish being surprised, Chen's figure suddenly appeared in front of him. With the same hand, the right hand also held a formed spiral pill, which was imprinted on his chest in an instant. Withstanding the strong twisting force of the spiral pill, Hyde's body was severely twisted in both hands, feet and neck, and then flew out in a rotating way and hit the mountain, blowing a large piece of the mountain, and Hyde was also shattered by the blast. The stone is buried. Chapter 91, The Stone of Garel. Just when Hyde on the opposite side was about to raise his hand to attack Chen quickly condensed a spiral pill, which, in conjunction with the Flying Thunder God technique, instantly knocked Hyde out. After Hyde cracked the mountain, he was also buried by gravel, and there was no sound for a while. Although he knocked Hyde flying, Chen was not proud of it. He just looked at the pile of ruins jokingly, because Chen knew that Hyde, who had Garel's stone, would not be cleaned up so easily. After all, he was the little boss in the theatrical version, and he also has the power of Garel's stone. Sure enough, it didn't take long before the pile of ruins that buried Hyde suddenly exploded, blowing the rubble on it into all directions. After the sand and dust dispersed, Hyde's figure appeared in front of Chen again. I saw Hyde at this time. All parts of his body have been severely twisted. No matter his arms or the neck under his head is twisted 180 degrees, although his body is facing Chen, his face is also facing Chen. Hyde's face was hideous. Even though his body was extremely twisted, there was no sign of pain on his face. Instead, he smiled grimly and said to Chen, "It was really painful just now, hee. Hyde's body changed drastically, and he saw his twisted arms and feet turn a few times, making a crisp sound of bones returning to their positions. After a few moments, Hyde's body returned to its original state, as if he hadn't been injured just now. After his body recovered, Hyde deliberately twisted his neck, made a few crisp sounds from his neck, and laughed smugly. Ha, it's really great. The injury will heal all at once, such a powerful force. Quote. It's because of Garel's ore veins. That's really a good thing. Seeing that Hyde suffered such a serious and fatal injury, but nothing happened, Chen really coveted Garel even more. That's right, that's Garel's power. How about it, aren't you surprised? But soon, you'll die under this power. Ha. Noisy. Like to laugh, don't you? I'll make you laugh right away. Hearing Hyde's smug laughter made Chen very unhappy. The eyes were directly transformed into kaleidoscope writing wheel eyes, and a mass of gray-white chakra formed around Chen, and then Wawa took the shape of an arm, and at a very fast speed, he dragged Hyde, who was still laughing wildly, in an instant. In the palm of his hand, Hyde's laughter stopped abruptly. It was Chen's Susanoo. This time, Chen's Susan didn't have that huge body, he just transformed into an arm, but he also possessed powerful strength. No matter how hard Hyde tried to struggle, he couldn't. He couldn't break free, and he was tightly bound by a huge force. The arrogant expression just now no longer exists, and the expression on his face was distorted due to pain, and he was screaming. Haha tilde tilde don't you like to laugh? Laugh. Keep babbling. Looking at Hyde who was struggling in Susa's hand, Rang Chensheng sneered. Damn tilde tilde what the hell is this? Go ask the god of death. Chen Yan said with a grin, and then with a thought, he grabbed Susa's arm tightly, and suddenly squeezed it hard. He only heard a scream, and then saw that a large piece of pink night body spewed out from the fingers of Susa's palm, splashing all over the place. And Hyde also let out a scream. There was no sound, and his body was directly crushed into meatballs by Chen's Suzuo. Although he is a villain boss in the theatrical version, in Chen's eyes, he is just a stronger grasshopper, who can be pinched to death. Chen controlled Susa and threw the corpse in his hand on the ground. The body was severely deformed, and only the head, whose expression was extremely distorted due to pain, was intact. However, the Gerald stone he set on the back of his hand had not been damaged and was still intact. It's disgusting. But, can you recover now? Chen Zhang took Susa back, and at the same time removed the kaleidoscope writing wheel, and then walked towards Hyde's body. Tilde tilde tilde. After Chen approached Hyde, he found that Hyde was still alive, his intact head, his eyes bursting, and he even made a small whisper. Humph. Seeing this, Chen didn't care whether Hyde was dead or not. He directly raised his right foot, and used a strange force to stomp against Hyde's head. Hyde's head exploded like a watermelon, and Chen's pants were stained with blood and brains, but Chen didn't care about that. That kick was so powerful that it even stepped on the ground with cracks. Tilde tilde can I recover like this? Chen said with a sneer. Suddenly, Chen discovered that there was a gem-like thing on the wreck of Hyde, which was very conspicuous. Chen bent down curiously and picked up the gem. Isn't this the Gerald stone that Hyde set on the back of his hand? At this time, the system came up with a prompt. Ding. The host kills one Shenzhen. Reward points, 10,000. All points of the host, 21,000. Quote. Chen Zhen was stunned for a moment, and then reflected that Hyde was able to recover so quickly because he was inlaid with the Jirel stone, and then triggered and absorbed the power of the Jirel vein. Now that Chen took away the Jirel stone, he could no longer absorb the power of the Jirel ore, and his body could no longer recover, so he died directly. It's really dead now. Leave him alone. System, please help me analyze this Gerald stone in my hand. Help analyze. He wants to know more about this Gerald stone. After the system scanned the Gerald stone in Chen's hand, he replied to Chen. Answer to the host. The item in the host's hand is called the Gerald stone, which contains mysterious and powerful power, and has a very strong life breath. The host can exchange the Gerald stone for points, and can also allow the system to synthesize a magical potion. The effect of this potion can skyrocket its own chakra and stimulate the potential in the cells. Make it form chakra faster. And this medicine has the effect of life and death, flesh and bone. Even if you are seriously injured, as long as you have a breath, you can quickly recover after taking this medicine. Not only that, there is another more magical effect of Gerald's stone, that is vitality. After taking Gerald's potion, vitality will be significantly improved. Not only can increase lifespan, but also the appearance and skin will not age, let youth stay forever, even rejuvenate youth. Damn it, there is still such a heaven-defying thing. No matter what, I have to get the Gerald stone. This kind of precious thing, only in my own hands can I feel at ease. Chapter 92, Success. Hearing the benefits of the Gerald stone mentioned by the system, Rangchen is full of yearning for the Gerald stone, and he should take the Gerald stone as his own no matter what. However, how can I make Gerald's ore veins visible? And I remember that the ore veins of Gerald's stone are not on the ground. Even if the ground is pierced, the ore veins will not be found. Since the ore veins are if it is sealed, then we must find a way to open the seal. Quote. Thinking of this, Chen began to look around, wanting to see if he could find something. At this time, Chen suddenly found something similar to a microscope on a high platform, which made Chen's eyes light up, and secretly said, "Isn't this thing the key to the door to the mine?" Chen immediately came to the key next to me, I looked at it, but I couldn't figure out how this thing worked for a while. Forget it, just try it. If it doesn't work, I just broke the seal violently. At that time, Naruto also accidentally destroyed this mechanism before causing a big riot in the Garel mine. After observing for a while, he still couldn't understand. Chen had to give up. Then just drumming. Damn, it's a waste of time to go on like this. Break it for me. Chen's luck was not very good. After a long time, there was still no movement in the Garel mine. This made Chen very impatient, and directly kicked the mechanism with one kick. At the moment when the organ was destroyed, there was a sound from the ground, and then the movement became louder and louder. Not long after, the entire mountain was shaking violently, the ruins were constantly collapsing, and countless gravels fell from the mountain. Peace. Not only that, but even the ground is constantly collapsing, revealing bottomless cracks. It is a scene like a big earthquake. The only part of the painting where Chen is located has a formation that has not been affected. Still intact. At this time, Naruto ran out of the ruins with the old man and Temshuin on his back, and also felt the violent shaking of the mountain, and the collapsing rocks kept falling. This place is about to collapse. What's going on? What the hell happened inside? Naruto asked anxiously while dodging the rubble. Is this Garel's rampage? It's over, it's over. Dad, what are you talking about? Do you know something? Tell us quickly. Hearing the old man's words, Naruto asked him anxiously. This must be because the key to the door of the mine has been destroyed, the seal has been undone, and the great rampage of the Garel mine has already begun. The old man replied in horror. What happens if there is a runaway? At this time, Temshuin, who was carried by Naruto's shadow clone, also asked nervously to the old man. I don't know, but when you think of the size of the country, it wouldn't be surprising if half of the land was destroyed. What did you say? What can I do to stop it? It's a pity that there's no way to stop the rampage, but there is a way to destroy the veins. What method? Tell me quickly. Temshuin, jumping down from the sadness of the shadow clone, ran to the old man and asked anxiously. Below the mineral vein, there is a special psychic technique. We signed a contract with the blood of our royal family. As long as you put your hand in the center, you can summon the cave of time and space. Caverns of time and space. It is to devour everything. The endless void emerges from the center of the technique, and devours everything around it. Our ancestors were there to prevent one day, the seal of Garel's mine veins would be blocked by some people with bad intentions. The destruction caused the ore veins to run wild, so the psychic technique was placed under the ore veins to destroy Garel's ore veins. However, if this technique is activated, then, activate the technique. The people who will definitely be swallowed up by the caverns of time and space. Quote. Is that so? Temshuin suddenly turned around and quickly ran back towards the ruins just now. And Naruto immediately understood what he wanted to do after discovering Temsun's actions, and also chased up to try to stop Temsun. Temshuin, don't do stupid things. Naruto threw the old man to the shadow clone, let the shadow clone take the old man out, and then chased after Temshuin himself. If you want to atone for your sins, I'm the most suitable role. Naruto, everyone will leave it to you, you hurry up and get out of here. Seeing that Naruto was catching up, Temshuin immediately shouted to Naruto without looking back. How can this be? I won't leave you alone. Naruto ignored Temshuin's dissuasion and still followed. This is my chance to atone for my sins. Naruto, don't follow me anymore. I don't want to see unnecessary sacrifices anymore. You should leave here quickly. No, how can I let you do such a dangerous thing alone? I said it. No matter what, I will never leave my companions behind. Just as Naruto and Temsun were talking nonsense, the ruins that were shaking violently subsided, causing Temsun and Naruto to stop. This seems to have stopped. What's going on? Could it be that the movement just now wasn't the mine runaway? The two looked at each other and saw doubts in each other's eyes. Then, let's cut back to the main character. When the stones on the ruins were almost dropped, a huge spherical unknown liquid gradually appeared on the top of Chen's head, which was bubbling continuously. These liquids were light blue and filled with a strong vitality. And the violent momentum, it seems that it will explode at any time. Is this the mine of Geralt, known as the source of life? It was sealed above the ruins. Ha 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 tilde tilde these are all mine. Chen immediately laughed excitedly. I can't get carried away now. I have to quickly put away the ore veins, otherwise it will be troublesome when the ore veins run wild. Thinking of this, Chen immediately activated the ability of space and loaded all the ore veins of Geralt within its own space. Because with the improvement of Chen's strength, the area of Chen's own space has also expanded to the size of 2 football fields. That's why the entire Geralt's ore vein can be included in the space. After Chen Yang's ore veins were all included in the space, the turmoil in the entire ruins also subsided. He tilde tilde tilde. Chapter 93, Soaring Points. Although Chen had already incorporated the entire Geralt's load into the space, the rampage of Geralt's load did not subside because of this, and was still brewing in Chen's space. But fortunately, in Chen's space, the time ratio is 10:1, so the time for Geralt to explode is also extended. Although the explosion time has been prolonged, the problem has not been completely solved. But Chen had no choice but to ask the system for advice. Chen asked the system, now the entire ore vein of Geralt has been obtained, but how can we solve the problem of this load runaway? Answer to the host, Geralt's ore veins are runaway because the seal is destroyed. Therefore, the host only needs to exchange another array to suppress the riot of Geralt's ore veins. Rail's veins have subsided. The formation method. If the formation method is used to suppress Geralt's ore veins, then how can the Geralt stone be extracted from Geralt's ore veins in the future? The host does not need to worry about this problem. The formation method only suppresses the riots of the ore veins, and does not seal the ore veins, so the host can extract the Geralt stone at will. As that's so, then I can rest assured, exchange the formation for me. After hearing the system's answer, let Chen feel relieved, and then exchange the formation with the system that could suppress the mine runaway. Ding! The formation to suppress the runaway of Geralt's ore veins. Item type, formation, item level S, need to exchange points, 10,000, do you want to exchange? Exchange. Ding! The redemption is successful, the points will be deducted, 10,000, and the host's remaining points, 11,000. As soon as the system beep sounded off, a few dazzling rays of light appeared out of thin air under the Geralt ore vein, which was taken into the space by Chen. I saw that light gradually dimmed. In the end, after the light completely dissipated, a huge circle appeared under the Geralt load with a hexagram pattern, and the 6 inner corners of the hexagram were also engraved with a kind of incomprehensible pattern. S seal. Just after this formation was formed, the Geralt mine, which was still slowly brewing and exploding, calmed down in an instant, as if it suddenly got stuck, and there was no movement. At this moment, the system's prompt sounded again, ding. The host has completed the task. Snatch Geralt's mine. Reward points, 50,000, the host's total points, 61,000, do you want to open the exchange interface? Oh, is the mission completed? Today is really my lucky day. Not only did I get such a precious Geralt ore vein, but I also earned 50,000 points, which really excites me. Tilde tilde haha tilde tilde tilde. Hearing the system's prompt tone, and then looking at his soaring points, Chen's mood was so bright that he burst out laughing alone. Okay, let me take a look first. What exactly is Geralt's ore vein? After laughing, Chen also retracted his excited expression, and then with a thought, he disappeared in place, and then appeared within his own space. Chen's space has not been transformed since the exchange, so the interior of the space is still a pitch-black void. Except for the few miscellaneous items that Chen placed in the space, there is nothing left. Chen stood in space, as if standing in outer space. Although it is a ore vein, its shape is the same as a liquid. The volume of the ore vein is large, the ore vein is round, with a diameter of more than 50 meters, and it also emits a light blue brilliance. Below the ore vein, a huge formation also shone with light. Such a behemoth is very conspicuous in this space. Chen looked at the void under his feet and said, "It's time to remodel this place. It's empty and always makes people feel uneasy. But let's wait until I'm done with the things at hand." Then he went directly to Gary in front of Er's mine. He looked at the mine in front of him. As the stone of Jirel formed from these liquids. Thinking of this, Chen curiously stretched out his hands and took a pool of Jirel's liquid from the huge ore vein. At this time, the liquid that was separated from the Jirel's vein changed. I saw that the pool of liquid solidified slowly in Chen's hands. In just 10 seconds, it turned into a hard piece of Jirel's ore. Stone. The liquid becomes hard when it is separated from the ore vein. That's how the Gerel stone was formed. I thought it would take some complicated processing to form the Gerel stone, but I didn't expect it to be so simple. But it's also save me the trouble. Chen Dian weighed the Gerel stone in his hand. It should weigh half a catty. Because it has not been processed, it still contains a strong breath of life. System, estimate for me, how many points can I exchange for this Gerel stone in my hand? Answer to the host. This Gerel stone contains a huge amount of energy, which can be exchanged for 10,000 points. Do you want to exchange it? 10,000 points. Just such a small piece of Jirel's stone can be exchanged for 10,000 points. This ore vein can be divided into hundreds or even thousands of such large Jirel's stones, then if I exchange the entire ore vein. Very good, very good. Ha 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 tilde with this ore vein of Gerel's stone, then I don't have to worry about earning points anymore. Moreover, the Eternal Kaleidoscope writes the incomparably powerful abilities of the Wheel Eye, the Samsara Eye, and the Immortal Body are no longer an extravagant hope. Ha 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 tilde. The system's answer made Chen excited again, and after a long time, Chen calmed down his excitement. When his mood calmed down, Chen couldn't wait to extract 10 pieces of Gerel's stone 5 times larger than the previous one from Gerel's ore vein, and then instructed the system, take me. Redeem all of these Gerel stones for points. Ding. Exchange is in progress tilde. After the system's prompt sounded, I saw that Chen's body suddenly shot out a beam of light, which shone on the Jirel stone that was originally extracted by Chen, and then the Jirel stone disappeared. Gradually disappeared without knowing where to go. In just a few seconds, all the 11 Gerel stones extracted by Chen disappeared, and the light emitted from Chen also disappeared. Ding! The exchange is successful. You will get 610,000 points, and the host has 671,000 points. Do you want to open the exchange interface? Chapter 94, Eternal Kaleidoscope Shaker. After getting the system's answer, Chen's first thought was, I've made a fortune. Then, he couldn't wait to extract 10 pieces of Gerel from Gerel's ore vein, which were 5 or 6 times larger than the volume just now. The stone, and then let the system and the previous piece all be converted into points, and then Chen's points skyrocketed to 610,000, plus the rewards for completing the system task just now and the remaining points. It actually reached 671,000 points. This is the highest point that Chen has obtained since he had the system. This huge amount of points is enough to change Chen's fate. If Chen uses all these points to improve his strength, then Chen's strength will definitely be improved by a few grades, and it can even be comparable to Nagato, who has the Eye of Reincarnation. At that time, let alone a Danzo, even the entire Konoha village, Chen is confident that he can compete with it. Although I dare not say that it can destroy Konoha, it should still be possible to reach the level of Nagato. More than 600,000 points are enough to take my strength to the next level, and my kaleidoscope can also evolve into an eternal kaleidoscope. Not only that, but I can also have Mu Dun's blood. Thinking of this, Chen laughed again. The Eternal Kaleidoscope Shaker is not shown much in the original work. Throughout the Uchiha family for so long, only Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Sasuke have possessed it. In the original work, the two did not show the peculiarity of the Eternal Kaleidoscope Shaker. Except for not blindness and manipulation of the 9 tails, there seemed to be nothing special. However, even so, the Kaleidoscope Shaker Eye is extremely powerful. If nothing else, it is said that after opening the Eternal Kaleidoscope, you can use the kaleidoscope's pupil technique without side effects, and you can also have a complete body of Susanoo. 1 is enough to enhance a lot of combat effectiveness. Of course, it doesn't mean that the complete Susa must have the eternal kaleidoscope turned on to be able to perform it. In fact, the ordinary eye kaleidoscope can also perform this ultimate pupil technique. In the original work, after Obito gave Kakashi his other writing wheel when he was fighting with Kagaya, Kakashi opened the complete Susanoo directly. Outside of Kakashi, whether it was Sasuke or Ban, it was Susanoo who showed his full body after opening the eternal kaleidoscope. After laughing for a while, Chen immediately asked the system, "System, I remember that the price of the eternal kaleidoscope writing wheel seems to be 500,000. I have enough points now, can I evolve my kaleidoscope writing wheel to eternal kaleidoscope? Don't make any harsh conditions for me to exchange it." Quote. Answer to the host, you don't need to worry about this question. As long as you have a kaleidoscope, the host can directly evolve an ordinary kaleidoscope into an eternal kaleidoscope with enough points. That's good, I'm really worried about what conditions will be set for me, there is no best. After hearing the system's affirmative answer, Chen was relieved. To be honest, he was worried before, but fortunately the system did not let him down. In this case, Chen said to the system, "Open the exchange interface of the eternal kaleidoscope shaker for me." As soon as Chen's voice fell, a system redemption page appeared in Chen's site. Eternal kaleidoscope writing wheel I. Item level, SS level, need to exchange points, 500,000. Note, kaleidoscope writing wheel I is overused, it will lead to vision loss or even blindness, and the eternal kaleidoscope shaker I has broken the curse of the kaleidoscope shaker in use. The use of pupil surgery is not threatened by seals, and the eyes have eternal light, which is the most advanced form of shaker. Host conditions are met, do you want to carry out this exchange? Eternal kaleidoscope writing wheel I. Chen took a deep breath, his expression became solemn, and then said to the system, "System, exchange it for me immediately." Ding! Exchange is in progress. As soon as the system's notification sound fell, I saw that Chen's points were suddenly deducted by 500,000, and then Chen's body suddenly burst out with a powerful force. Immediately afterwards, all this power slowly poured into Chen's eyes, causing severe burning pain in Chen's eyes. Although he was already mentally prepared, the burning pain still made Chen extremely painful. He couldn't bear it for a while, knelt down, covered his eyes with his hands, and let out a heart-piercing scream. At this time, Chen's whole body trembled with high frequency, the pain in his eyes made him sweat, and his whole body was soaked in cold sweat. He still remembers the pain of turning on the kaleidoscope, but the pain is undoubtedly pediatric compared to now. This kind of pain is like someone stabs you in the eye with a sharp knife, and then again. Constantly twisting the knife, people feel heart-piercing pain. The burning pain gradually subsided after a long time. After a while, the burning pain in Chen Shuangtong's eyes had completely dissipated, but Chen also collapsed, his whole body was soaked in cold sweat, and he was lying in the space, panting violently. After a short rest, Chen has gradually recovered some strength. Feeling that the power is continuously coming out from the pupils, Chen can clearly feel that the kaleidoscope at this time is several times stronger than before. Before his body fully recovered, Chen couldn't wait to struggle, and quickly found a reflective object in the pile of debris to use as a mirror, and then turned on his eternal kaleidoscope writing wheel. I saw Chen's kaleidoscope writing wheel eye pattern is still dominated by hexagrams, but in the middle of the hexagram, there is another black cross. Chen caressed his eyes, and said in a low voice, "This is my eternity, kaleidoscope writing wheel eye." He threw the things in his hand back into the junk pile, and the corners of Chen's mouth twitched slightly. At this moment, an unprecedented confidence surged in his heart. His own strength has reached the shadow level, and now he has exchanged for the eternal kaleidoscope writing wheel eye. It can be said that his strength has truly reached the peak of the ninja world at this moment. Chapter 95, Exchange Wood Done. Originally, after Chen opened the kaleidoscope shaker eye, with the kaleidoscope's pupil technique, his strength was very strong. However, because of the curse of the kaleidoscope, it cannot be used unscrupulously. Now it is different. With the eternal kaleidoscope writing wheel there is no need to worry anymore. Those powerful pupil techniques can be used arbitrarily. This is not enough, there is also Chen's Susano. Because he has not been stimulated or exercised deliberately, Tatsu's Susano has always been in a state of skeleton. But now, under the blessing of the eternal kaleidoscope shaker, Susano finally went a step further, reaching the stage of a mature body in an instant, and he was only one step away from the full body of the ultimate version. Thinking of the scene in the original book where Madame Madara can cause a landslide and a ground crack with a random wave, Chen was very excited. In the near future, I will definitely be able to reach that level. At that time, no matter who dares to block my footsteps, I will crush him. Ha 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 tilde tilde tilde. It can be said that after Chen exchanged the eternal kaleidoscope shaker, he is already a rare opponent in the entire ninja world. Unless some old-fashioned shadow-level players may be able to trouble him, he no longer has to fear anyone. However, this is not enough. Although I already have the eternal kaleidoscope shaker, I have too few ninjutsus under my control. I have to exchange for a few more powerful ninjutsus. The completed things are done. Chen came to the pile of junk, turned his eyes to the small test tube that had been used for experiments, and said with a smile on the corner of his mouth. Chen stretched out his hand to pick up the small test tube, and then said with a light smile, "Mu done. I've always been yearning for it." Wooden dun is a very special kind of blood following in the original work. Although it is a combination of water and earth, but looking at so many ninjas in the ninja world, I don't know how many geniuses have the two chakra attributes of water and earth at the same time. However, apart from the Senju Hashirama of the Senju family, there is no one who can possess this powerful bloodstain. Of course, some people will say that Mudun is unique to the Chinsho clan, and other ninjas cannot awaken. But even so, I haven't seen any members of the Senju clan awakening Mudun, not even Senju Hakuma's younger brother Sensho Tobarama, or Chinsho Hakuma's granddaughter Chinsho Tsunade. These people are close. Couldn't wake up. Although in the original work, there are many ninjas who can use the wood escape, but whether it is Yamato and Danzo, or the later Uchiha Obito, or even Uchiha Madara, they can master the wood escape, but the reason for being able to use Mudun has the same premise, that is, the cells from the Chinsho Zujian are transplanted. In addition to this method, I have never heard of a genius who can awaken Mudun on his own without transplanting intercolumnar cells. There's no need to think about this kind of thing. Maybe it's because Senju is the reincarnation of Asura, and Mudun, who is awakened because of his positive chakra. What I should be concerned about now is whether the fusion of this cell is not enough. It will allow me to master the powerful blood descendant Mudun. Chen shook his head and put this question behind him. Without thinking any more, he asked the system, "System, I can transplant the primary cells now, right?" Answer to the host. The host integral is sufficient to meet the conditions for cell fusion. Very good, but I have one more question for you. If I transplant the first generation cells, will my face grow out of a 1,000-handed column inexplicably? Chen, slightly worried about the system, asked. After all, in the original work, whether it is Madara or Danzo, after they transplant the cells of the first Hokage Chishujuma, they will all have a common feature, that is, a large piece of white skin will appear on the body, and there will also be a Jong man's face, that should be the face of the first Hokage Senju Hashirama. If the transplanted cells of the first generation would have this characteristic, Na-chen had to reconsider whether to transplant the cells or exchange them directly. After all, having the face of another man on his body is weird and uncomfortable. He is not a good friend of Chinchujuma, so he can be as calm as Madara. Answer to the host. No. The system will help the host to perfectly fuse the cells of the original Hokage, and it will not cause any abnormality to the host's body, nor will the problems mentioned by the host appear. Of course, if this is the host's request, then the system can also satisfy the host. Quote. Phew tilde tilde, that's good, I can rest assured. After hearing the system's answer, Chen breathed a sigh of relief, and then said to the system, then. Now transplant me the first generation cells. Remember, never don't make a 1,000-armed face on me. Ding! Fusion is in progress. After the system's prompt sounded, I saw that Chen's points were suddenly deducted by 50,000 points. After the huge sum of 671,000 was exchanged for Eternal Kaleidoscope and Wood Done, he suddenly sharpened. Reduced to 121,000 points. Then the test tube in Chen's hand suddenly disappeared, and then a warm current suddenly rose up in Chen's body, and after a while, it turned into a whole body of chakra full of vitality flowing in Chen's body, spreading all over the body. The cells of the whole body are excited. This feeling is completely different from the burning pain of exchanging the Eternal Kaleidoscope. At this time, Chen felt a burst of relief all over his body, and Chen couldn't help but close his eyes and enjoy this pleasure. After a while, this vibrant chakra was completely absorbed by Chen's body. Chen also opened his eyes, clenched his fists with both hands, and felt the new power in his body. This feeling is really addicting, it's so comfortable. But now is not the time to enjoy it, let me see it first. Get results. Chen said, stretched out an arm, and then ran the vibrant chakra. I saw that Chen's arm turned into a tree trunk, and then continuously grew countless short branches, and finally all the branches grew lush leaves. Chen's arm suddenly turned into a small tree. After a while, Chen's thoughts moved, and the branches gradually retracted into Chen's arm, and Chen's arm also returned to its original state. Is this the power of Mu Dun? Chen whispered to himself, a smile on the corner of his mouth. Chapter 95, Mu Dun's Ninjutsu. Chen has fused the cells of the first generation, and has mastered the powerful blood descendant of Mu Dun. Not only that, but the wooden chakra is still nourishing Chen's body, making Chen feel that his whole body has a new look. It's an unprecedented feeling, this feeling is really great. Chen whispered excitedly, feeling the changes in his body. After that, Chen looked at his space and thought in his heart, there is indeed something to exchange here, it has been empty all the time, which makes people feel uneasy, so let's take this opportunity to make a good renovation. Chen said to the system, System, transform this space in exchange for the source of the soil for me first. Ding! The origin of the earth, item level, S grade, need to exchange points, 10,000, do you want to exchange it? Exchange. Ding! The redemption is successful, the points are deducted, 10,000, the remaining points of the host, 111,000. Quote. After the system prompt sounded, the foot of Zeichen's station suddenly turned into a piece of land, and the land continued to spread around. After a while, Chen's space was completely covered with land, and it became the same level as the outside world. Chen stepped on the ground under his feet, and then said with a chuckle, yes, this is much more down to earth, and the down to earth feeling is more comfortable. Although there is land, it is not enough. Chen exchanged for the source of light, and then the entire space instantly became as bright as day, no longer as dim as before. By the way, since I have now mastered the powerful blood descendant of the Wooden Dun, why do I have no impression of the Wooden Dun ninjutsu at all? Answer to the host. Fusion cells can only allow you to have the blood of the wood escape. It does not mean that you can master the powerful wood escape ninjutsu. If the host wants to have a powerful wood escape ninjutsu, you need to add 50,000 points to exchange for wood. After exchanging the ninjutsu gift package, the host can master the nodding gestures of wooden ninjutsu, large and small, other than immortal methods. Quote. Damn it, shouldn't this be a bonus? It still needs to be exchanged. And it's still 50,000 points. Isn't that adding up to 100,000 points? This is already the same price as the wooden dug sold by the system, so I found it. Isn't that first generation cell meaningless? Hearing the system's answer, Chen was very depressed and asked the system. No, even if the host spends 100,000 points to exchange for Mudden directly, it will only have Mudden Shuiji, but not able to control Mudden ninjutsu, and also need to spend more points to exchange for ninjutsu, and the host provides that cell has saved 50,000 points for the host, so it's not meaningless. A profiteer. Then why was it that I was able to master the 3 pupil techniques of the day photo, the moon reading, and the Susanohue when I exchange the kaleidoscope to write the wheel eye. Because the pupil technique only requires the activation of the mind and does not require the seal, so there is no need to exchange the seal. What the hell kind of reason is this? I think you just think I've saved a few points now, so you made up a reason to exploit me. Would you like to exchange the mudden spree? This time, the system did not explain. As if it wanted to change the subject, he asked Chen for instructions. Hey exchange it. Chen sighed helplessly, but he gritted his teeth and spent another 50,000 points. After all, Mudun Shueiji has already exchanged it. If Mudun Ninjutsu can't be used, then the Mudun Ninjutsu can be exchanged. It's a waste of time to escape. Ding! The redemption is successful, the points are deducted. 50,000, the remaining points of the host, 61,000. Quote. With the sound of the system prompt, another piece of information appeared in Chen's mind, and then he mastered all the gestures of the wooden escape knot, large and small, except for the immortal method. However, seeing the points that have been reduced sharply, Chen really wanted to cry without tears, but since it has been redeemed, Chen did not bother about this issue anymore. Then let me see how powerful my mudden is. Thinking of this, Chen quickly formed a set of seals with both hands, and then shouted very loudly, "Wooden! The tree world is coming!" I saw that in the space where Chen was. The earth was roaring and shaking, as if something was about to break out of the ground. Sure enough, just a moment later, above the roaring earth, trunks as thick as an arm broke out of the ground, and they continued to grow wildly. It didn't take long for them to grow into towering trees, forming a forest. After Chen stopped exporting chakra, those big trees also stopped growing. The scale of the tree world that Chen cast this time is not very large, but it also has a radius of 100 meters. This is still the range after Chen deliberately stopped chakra. Even Chen himself does not know where his limit is. If it stops, it is estimated that the space of these 2 football fields will be covered by the arrival of Chen's tree world. Yes, Mudun is really a useful map cannon. With this scale, if it is released in the crowd, tisk tisk tilde tilde, seeing the Mudun released by himself, Chen felt very satisfied, but this move has a wide range. The chakra consumed by the wooden scorpion also made Chen feel alarmed. The chakra almost disappeared at a rapid speed, and only a quarter of the chakra in Chen's body was consumed in just a moment. The chakra consumed by Nengu is much larger. I really don't know that in the original book, the perverted wooden dungeon is like drinking water. I really don't know how many chakras that guy has. But fortunately, because Chen not only has the tailed beast of the pseudo-show crane, but also because of the cells of the first generation, the speed of recovering chakra is also amazing. But this is far from enough. If large-scale ninjutsu is used many times during the battle, the recovery speed of chakra still cannot keep up with the speed of consumption, so I have to find a way to increase the amount of chakra and chakra. Carrot's recovery speed. But this idea can only be postponed temporarily. Let's get out of here first. Then Chen's thoughts moved, disappeared in place, and then reappeared in the original ruins. The current one has stopped shaking, although occasionally some gravels still fall. Chen looked around and found that there was nothing to do, and said in a low voice, "Since the stone of Geralt has been obtained, then it doesn't make sense for me to stay here. Let's get out of here first." After speaking, he planned to leave, but at this moment, Chen suddenly sensed that someone was peeping at him from a certain direction, so Chen frowned, and then shouted in that direction, "Who is it? Get out of here." Hearing Chen's shout, the man hiding in the dark showed a wry smile and said in a low voice, "It's been discovered, these are terrible." But he still walked out, because he knew that it was impossible for him. You can hide from that person, so there is no need to hide. Seeing the appearance of the incoming person, Chen's eyes instantly turned cold, and Senran said, "Pharmacist pocket. P.S. Ask for a reward. Please customize." Chapter 97. Meet the Konoha ninja again. The person who came out of the dark was the pharmacist pocket next to Orochimaru, and Chen's face instantly turned cold. Seeing the appearance of Yaoshido, Chen immediately thought in his heart that it must be Orochimaru who ordered him to follow him. If there was no order from Orochimaru, Yoshido would definitely not have the courage. It turned out that the pharmacist followed Chen all the way to the ruins, and he never dared to get too close because he was afraid that Chen would find the trace. Zaichen entered the dark passage, and he followed after he came under the Garel mine. Because Chen paid attention to hide at the time, he did not find the pharmacist's pocket hidden in the dark, so he was in the ruins. All the pharmacists know what happened. It was not until Chen killed Hyde and destroyed the key of the Garel mine, which triggered the rampage of the Garel mine. The continuous collapse of the mountain made Yoshido feel the danger, so he left first and wanted to escape the ruins. However, after Chen put the ore veins into the space, the ruins also stopped turbulent, and feeling that there was no danger, the pharmacist came back again. However, when he came back, Chen Zhao had already collected all of Garel's ore veins into the space, and Chen himself also entered the space, so the returning pharmacist pocket did not know that Garel's ore veins had been taken away by Chen. And when he came back here, Chen just came out of the space, and the pharmacist pocket was hit by Chen. "It's better to give me a reason that can convince me," Chen said sternly to the pharmacist in front of him. "Sorry, I didn't mean to follow Chen Jun, because Chen Jun had conflict with Sandian, the country of wind before. Lord Orochimaru was worried that Chen Jun would get into trouble, so let me follow Chen Jun and see if Sandian was in trouble." Chen Jun's words, "I just happened to be able to help." If they pushed their glasses, then said with a smile and pretended to be relaxed. "Do me a favor." Chen sneered when he asked the pharmacist for a pocket with one arm. The pharmacist in front of him was pulled into the palm of his hand at a very fast speed, and he squeezed tightly. "HMPH. Help me. Is it up to you? Do you really think I'm as easy to fool as any idiot Sasuke?" Chen sneered, and then controlled Susuke to increase his strength, squeezing the pharmacist's pocket to the point of pain. At this time, Yoshido's face was already distorted by pain, and he lost the relaxed expression he had just now, but he was not an ordinary person either, so he resisted and didn't let out a wailing, and he didn't even beg Chen for mercy. "I know you were sent by Orochimaru. He asked you to follow what I want to do. Say it, or you won't have a chance." Jirel. Stone. Yoshido didn't hide anymore, and directly stated the purpose of this trip. Jirel's stone. You mean Orochimaru wants to get the Garel's stone? No, Lord Orochimaru is just curious, what kind of treasure is the Garel stone that can make Chen Jun so nervous? If possible, he wants me to take the stone of Garel, and then Master Orochimaru will do it by himself. Give it to Chenjin, so that Chenjin can owe us a favor. Of course, if the Garel stone is taken by Chenjin, then this matter will be over. Lord Orochimaru does not want to make trouble for Chenjin. Quote. Is that really all it is? It is absolutely true. I will never dare to hide it. HMPH Orochimaru's abacus is quite good. Since that's the case, this time I will spare you once in the face of Orochimaru. Chen snorted coldly, controlled Shuzuo, and threw the pharmacist to the front wall. The body of the pharmacist was like an unloaded cannonball. It flew out of Suzuo's hand and hit the wall of the ruins in an instant. Large and small rubble. After the pharmacist's pocket fell to the ground, it was buried again by those rubble. Go back and tell Orochimaru, I don't want this kind of thing to happen again, otherwise don't blame me for not being sympathetic. Chen said to the pair of gravel where Yoshido was, because he knew that Yoshido couldn't be so easy. Was killed. After Zaichen finished speaking, he didn't pay any attention to what the pharmacist's pocket had to say. After a cold snort, he walked directly to the outside of the ruins. And just after Chen left, the pile of gravel covering the pharmacist's pocket moved, and then was suddenly pushed away, and the pharmacist's pocket also stood up from below. Cough tilde Uchiha Chen. It's really dangerous. I thought I would be killed just now. The pharmacist looked at the direction Chen left, and whispered to himself, let's go first. Go back and report to Lord Orochimaru. I don't dare to follow, otherwise, I might be killed. After saying that, he chose a direction opposite to Chen, and left the ruins as well. When Chen left the ruins and walked outside, he found that Naruto was screaming and rushing in the direction of Chen, and he was also followed by 3 people, the 2 who were also Konoha Xiaoqiang, Nara Shikamaru, and the other is Kankuro Sandy, who was brought down by Tatsu Tsukiyomi. Seeing the person coming, Rang Chen frowned and said in an unhappy low voice, "Hey. It's really haunting, trouble." But Chen didn't mean to dodge, and went straight to greet him. "Chen, are you alright? I heard from my father that the shock just now was caused by the violent runaway of Geralt's ore vein, and you stopped the runaway of the ore vein, right?" said worriedly, trying to get closer to Chen. However, Naruto's move was immediately stopped by Shikamaru next to him. Shikamaru pulled Naruto's collar while staring vigilantly at Chen, while shouting to the celebrity, "Naruto, don't get close to him, that guy. Now it's betrayal. Shikamaru, let me go first. Chen won't do anything to me, it's because of him that I can save Dad and Temshuan. We must have misunderstood Chen. Naruto, please be quiet for me." Shikamaru yelled at Naruto, then turned to look at Chen, and said, "Uchiha Chen, although I don't know why you are here, but I think it won't be a good thing." What? Are you planning to arrest me?" Chen said to Shikamaru and the others with a sneer. His tone and expression were full of disdain, and he didn't pay any attention to the people in front of him. "I'm sorry, the computer is not installed yet. I was going to have a good day off today, but I still don't want to stop updating, so I wrote another chapter." This chapter was written in an internet cafe. It was very noisy in the internet cafe, so I really didn't have the heart to code it. This chapter was written very casually. Starting tomorrow, I will start coding full-time. Thank you for your continued support. Bread would like to thank you. Chapter 98, Naruto with the Tailed Beast. For these people in front of him, Chen obviously didn't take them seriously. His expression and tone were full of disdain. "What? Are you planning to arrest me? Although I don't think you have this ability," Chen said with a sneer. At this time, Kankuro next to him stepped forward and said to Yu Chen, "Uchiha Chen. You were the one who shot me and Gaara back then. Thanks to you, I was tortured by you for 72 hours. In an hour, our accounts should be settled too. Find me to settle the account. Is it just you?" "So what?" Kankuro saw the disdainful expression on Chen's face, and felt that he was underestimated. He roared angrily, and immediately wanted to untie the crow on his back. However, his movements did not last, because just as he made the move, Chen had come to him in an instant, and before he had time to show his surprised expression, he felt his neck being severely strangled. The strength was so great that he couldn't breathe for a while. The changes at the scene made Naruto and the others unable to react in time. They didn't see Chinchin's actions, but felt that their eyes were blurred. After they reacted, it was already such a situation. Kankuro was strangled by Chen's neck like this, and then lifted up easily by Chen, while Kankuro kept clenching Chen's fingers with both hands, trying to escape from Chen's hand, but it was all in vain, and Chen's hand was like cast iron. There is no slack in the slightest. "Uchiha Chen, what are you doing? Let go of Kankuro." After reacting, Shikamaru immediately pressed a seal with both hands, which was the way their Nara family's shadow secret technique started, and sternly threatened Chen. Haruno Sakura, who was on the side, also made an attacking gesture towards Chen, but Naruto was still shouting to Chen, "Chen, let go of Kankuro, don't make any more mistakes." Hearing Naruto's shout, Chen replied disdainfully, "Don't you want him? Then give it back to you." Chen snorted coldly, then threw Kankuro in his hand towards Naruto and the others. The moment Kankuro flew out, Shikamaru jumped up immediately, trying to catch Kankuro, but the moment he touched Kankuro's body, a huge force came from Kankuro's body, making him bear it. He couldn't stop, and he and Kankuro were hit by that huge force, hitting a mountain in the distance. Fortunately, although Shikamaru couldn't stop it, it cancelled out most of the force, so they didn't suffer much damage. Shikamaru. Seeing such a scene, Naruto first shouted at Shikamaru worried, then showed an angry expression, turned his head, gritted his teeth at Chen, and asked, "Chen, how can you treat us to us? My former partner made a move, which disappointed me so much. Companion. I never need that kind of thing. As for the fact that I made friends with you when I was in Konoha, it was just because of a whim, I never cared about it. You should stop being self-righteous. Treat me as Konoha's comrade, that will only make me sick. Damn, what do you think of your companion? I don't believe that you have no feelings for Konoha's companion. Naruto shouted unwillingly. After all, Chen was the first one who was willing to befriend him. He was not a person, and Chen's previous character was not like this. He never believed that Chen would be such a cold person. Chi, are you naive, or are you really stupid? Haven't you figured out the situation by now? Chen sneered, then disappeared in place, and instantly appeared in front of Shikamaru, who was about to struggle. And then stepped on Shikamaru's back, pressing him back to the ground again. And this time Chen also used a strange force. Although he controlled the force, he still stepped on Shikamaru out of the internal injury, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. Then he turned to Naruto with a grin and said, "So, what about this? Bastard, let go of Shikamaru." Seeing Chen's actions, Naruto burst out. Naruto took out a handful of kunai from his ninja bag, and then yelled at Chen and rushed over. Once Naruto was really angry. After all, his companions held a very important position in his heart. He would never allow his companions to be hurt by others, so he rushed towards Chen desperately, stabbed the kuwu in his hand towards Chen, thinking about it. To force Chen back, and then save Shikamaru from the feet of Chen. In the face of Naruto's attack, Chen was not at ease, only to see that he raised his hand calmly, grabbed Naruto's hand in an instant, and said disdainfully, "It's really full of loopholes, just rely on you. To a certain extent, it is impossible to even touch the corner of my clothes." Quote. Damn, Naruto's wrist was tightly grasped by Chen, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't pull his hand back. Naruto. At this moment, Xiaoying next to her couldn't stand, clenched her fists, and then rushed towards Chen. It's annoying. After seeing Xiaoying's actions, Chen also didn't take it to heart. He snorted coldly, his eyes went directly into a kaleidoscope state, and then stared at Xiaoying. When Xiao Sakura saw the kaleidoscope shaker, she was shocked, remembered Kakashi's warning, and immediately wanted to close her eyes, but it was too late. The moment she saw the kaleidoscope, she had already been hit by Chen's illusion and collapsed to the ground. Sakura bastard. Naruto was very worried when he saw Sakura's attack, and saw a powerful chakra burst out of Naruto's body. He broke free from Chen's control for a while, leaving Chen stunned for a moment. However, Chen's reaction was very quick, and he came back to his senses in an instant, and then he directly lifted his foot and kicked Naruto out. When he flew out, Naruto also hit a wall and smashed the wall, but he seemed to feel no pain at all, and stood up slowly again. At this time, Naruto closed his eyes tightly, his expression became very serious, and there was no anger just now. His hands were also down, and there was no movement, as if he had fallen asleep. But there is a red chakra wrapped around him, which is full of ominous and violent. How can you do this? At this time, Naruto said, his voice was very calm, without any emotion. The current Naruto seems to be as calm as before the storm. How dare you hurt Shikamaru and Sakura, really? Unforgivable. Naruto let out an angry roar, and suddenly opened his eyes, only to see that Naruto's eyes have changed, no longer normal it looks like. The eyes have become red with beast-like vertical pupils, and the teeth have also become beast-like sharp protrusions, and the violent red chakra wrapped around Naruto is the nine-tailed chakra. Naruto is in. After seeing Sakura coming down, he directly entered the form of a tailed beast. Although there was no tail growing behind him, this chakra was enough to make Shikamaru and Kankuro who were present startled. Oh, it's interesting. Seeing Naruto's state, the corners of Chen's mouth twitched slightly, and he said in a low voice. It was agreed that I would come to pull the network cable today, but no one came, so I came to the internet cafe again to code words. Although it was very noisy, I still had to insist on coding a few chapters. Let's watch it first. Chapter 99. Reappearance monthly reading. After Naruto's tail turned into a beast, Chen still didn't feel the slightest nervousness, not to mention the human pillar force, even if it was the real nine-tailed. For Chen, who already had the eternal kaleidoscope, it was a pet-like existence. Has the tail beast turned into a beast? It's interesting, I just took this opportunity to collect the chakra of the nine tails. Thinking of this, Chen took the tail beast chakra collector out of the space again. At this time, the opposite Naruto said again, "You are no longer the Chen you used to be, and you are just pure rebellion." Really? Then what are you going to do? So, I won't be merciful anymore. No matter what, I will take you back to Konoha. Hey, I'm not ashamed. If that's the case, then come on. Let me see how much you have, and come with words that can make you so confident. Naruto didn't talk anymore. I saw him, roaring and rushing towards Chen again, because the chakra on his body was too strong, so every time Naruto took a step, he would step on a small pit on the ground, and his momentum was stronger than before. On a lot. However, facing the menacing Naruto, Chen didn't panic, sneered, and kicked Shikamaru in the direction of Naruto under his feet, causing Shikamaru to let out a scream. And Naruto, who was still very imposing, saw Shikamaru bumping into him. He was shocked and stopped sprinting. He jumped up to catch Shikamaru, and when he raised his head angrily, Chen's whereabouts had already been lost. Be careful behind. Although Naruto didn't find Chen's trace, Kankuro, who was lying on the side, could see clearly that when Naruto caught Shikamaru, Chen had already rushed to Naruto at a very fast speed. Behind him, so Kankuro immediately reminded Naruto. What? Hearing Kankuro's exclamation, Naruto turned around subconsciously, and what caught his eye was a fist that kept getting bigger. Before he could react, Chen's fist hit him in the face. This fist Chen used strange power, so Naruto was directly knocked out. Damn! Shikamaru, who had just been rescued by Naruto, shouted angrily when he saw Naruto being knocked into the air. His hands had formed a seal, and he just wanted to use the shadow technique on Chen, but he didn't have the speed of Chen. Quickly, I was kicked out by Chen again. This time, Shikamaru was seriously injured and couldn't get up for a while. Damn, this guy has become stronger again. How could it be possible to improve so fast? This is not a level of battle at all. Shikamaru said after spitting out a mouthful of blood, looking at Chen with a wry smile, while secretly thinking, Uchiha Chen, his strength is too strong. We can't be his opponent at all. It seems that we can only outsmart him. Then his mind quickly revolved, flashing a series of strategies, but all of them were denied one by one. At this time, Naruto, who was knocked out, changed again, and a huge chakra erupted from him again. Naruto. After seeing Naruto's current appearance, even Shikamaru was shocked. I saw Naruto lying on the ground on all fours at this time. Two sharp fangs were revealed at the corners of his mouth, and a roar similar to that of a beast came from his throat, and the biggest change was the chakra on his body. The red chakra, which was just wrapped around him, has now completely wrapped him, forming a transparent chakra coat. What is even more surprising is that behind him, a tail formed by chakra is swinging. Right. Haha, a tail has already exploded, but it's still a long way off. After seeing Naruto's changes, Chen still looked relaxed and said with a light smile. Roar tilde tilde. Naruto roared again and rushed towards Chen, this time with a significant increase in speed, and this time Naruto was not simply sprinting in a straight line, but constantly changing positions, wanting to mix things up Chen's line of sight. But under Chen's kaleidoscope writing wheel eyes, these actions are only in vain. When Naruto jumped behind Chen, thinking he had seized the opportunity, he instantly raised his palm to cut the back of Chen's head. Although Chen turned his back to Naruto, Chen tilted his head as if he had eyes in the back, dodging Naruto's attack, and Naruto jumped away from Chen immediately after seeing that his attack failed. Beside me, and then continued to change positions, trying to find opportunities again. System, with Naruto's current state, can I extract the nine-tailed chakra from him? Answer to the host, the chakra concentration on Renzuli is not enough, so it cannot be extracted. It is best to force him out of the state of four tails. Four tails. It seems that I need to give him some stimulation. The corners of Chen's mouth were slightly raised, and Chen turned his back to Naruto and deliberately revealed a flaw to lure Naruto to attack. And Naruto really took the bait. After seeing Chen's flaws, he seized the opportunity and attacked Chen again. Good time. After Naruto's attack was about to approach, Chen immediately turned around and looked at Naruto with a sneering expression. After seeing Chen's expression, Naruto secretly thought that it was not good, and just wanted to escape, but it was too late. You do. A simple word spit out from Chen's mouth. In an instant, Naruto was pulled into the space of you do by Chen. Where is this? Naruto, who had just entered the monthly reading, was also puzzled and looked around in confusion. As before, there are still many stakes standing in Chen's space, but the difference from before is that this time the stakes are not tied to Naruto who was sucked into the moon reading space, but Konoha-ten. In addition to Naruto and Sasuke, the other two Xiaoqiang, as well as Gaara and Kankuro of Sandian, were all tied to wooden stakes and looked at Naruto with a pleading look. What's going on? Why are you all here? Seeing these people appear, Naruto subconsciously wanted to rush over to save people, but found that his body couldn't move. No, this is not true. This situation must be an illusion. Naruto closed his eyes, trying to escape the illusion, but his body couldn't move. He could only close his eyes and try to wake himself up. Naruto, please help us ... This place is terrible, please help us ... At this time, the wailing of the small powerhouses came from Naruto's ears. Small tale, 475,137,322. Code chapter by chapter, pass by chapter. Check it out soon. Chapter 100, Persecution. In the moon reading space of Chen, Zhang Xiaoqiang was begging Naruto, but Naruto closed his eyes tightly and did not open them. It's just illusion. Naruto, what's wrong with you? Didn't you say you wouldn't hurt your companions? Why didn't you come to rescue them? Are all your words a lie? Naruto, who was closing his eyes, suddenly heard a playful voice in his ears, causing him to immediately open his eyes and stare ahead. I saw Chen not far in front of him, looking at him playfully. Damn, you did all this, right? This is all illusion, I won't be fooled by you. Naruto shouted Changchen. Haha illusion. Chen chuckled lightly when he heard Naruto's words, and then pulled out a handful of kunai out of nowhere, and shot the kunai in his hand at Naruto. Seeing the kunai attacking him, Naruto subconsciously wanted to dodge, but unfortunately found that his body was still unable to move, and he could only watch the kunai pierce his body. Feeling the pain caused by Kunwu, Naruto let out a scream, and then looked at Chen in disbelief. Why? Why can I feel the pain? Isn't this an illusion? What do you think? Chen didn't explain anything to Naruto, but took out a kunai again and played with it in his hand. Suddenly, Naruto seemed to have thought of something, and then exclaimed, No, this is what Kakashi-sensei said. You do. Yes, you know quite a lot. When Chen heard Naruto's words, he did not deny it, but directly admitted it, and from the beginning he never thought that he could hide Naruto. However, what if you knew? In the space of this month's reading, space, time, quality, everything is under my control. So here, how are you going to beat me? I don't need to beat you. Kakashi-sensei once said that in this month's reading space, you can delay up to 72 hours. As long as 72 hours have passed, your monthly reading will be released by itself. Right. That's right. But how do you stick to 72 hours? Also, I can tell you with certainty that my monthly reading is not only 72 hours, but eternity. As long as I don't, if you take the initiative to cancel the monthly reading, you will not be able to leave here. Although I don't know whether the single monthly reading released by the Eternal Kaleidoscope Writing Wheel I will also be eternal, but it is set to be eternal here. What? It's impossible, you can't lie to me. Humph. Believe it or not, what I have to do now is Chen didn't bother, but continued to play with the kunai in his hand, and then slammed the kunai in his hand into the Shikamaru beside him. Ah tilde tilde, Shikamaru let out a heart-piercing howl while being stabbed by Kuwu, and then begged to Naruto, "Help, Naruto, save me, save me." Damn tilde tilde illusory at this time. I won't be fooled. Hearing Shikamaru's wailing, Naruto remained unmoved, gritted his teeth and said, "Yes, this is indeed an illusion, hee tilde tilde." Chen grinned. Chen did not pull out the kunai stuck on Lumaru, but once again created a kunai and stabbed it fiercely again. On Shikamaru, that Shikamaru screamed and begged again. Damn tilde tilde, although he knew it was an illusion, he still made Naruto angry. "Don't worry, there's still a lot of time, don't worry, I won't do anything to you, but..." Chen Yan smiled and once again transformed into a kunai, and plunged into Lumaru again. Naruto really I couldn't bear to look anymore, and closed my eyes quickly. Naruto tilde tilde save me. Please, save me tilde tilde. Although he couldn't see it, the screams and pleas of Shikamaru kept ringing in his ears, making Naruto's heart very impatient. After a while, Shikamaru was already full of kunai, and Shikamaru was dying, but he could still make a faint sound, always begging Naruto to save him. Damn tilde tilde you bastard, devil. Naruto heard the wailing for a while, and it was his friend's wailing, which made him mentally collapse. Even if he knew it was just an illusion, he couldn't bear it. "Oh, there's no place to pierce anymore, so let's change someone." With a grin on his face, Chen came to Chu Dao Dinky, he is so fat, he should be able to endure a little more pain. No, after speaking, he slammed the kuwu in his hand into the fat body of Dinky. It didn't take long before Dinky was also full of kunai, which was shocking. Next is Ya, Shinai, Ninji, Little Lee, Gaara, and Kankuro. Without exception, all of them are full of kunai, and they are all dying and begging Naruto to rescue them. Haha tilde tilde all the men have been abolished. There is nothing I can do, I have to do something to those girls. Then, let me see, who is the first? And the remaining girls also cried and begged to Naruto, hoping Naruto would save them. At this time, Naruto had already collapsed. His heart was full of resentment and anger, and three tails had erupted behind him, but he was still suppressed by Chen and could not move at all. This time, there is no need for kunai, let's change the taste. I saw Chen Wei smiled, and once again took out something. This time it was not kunai, but a long leather whip. Try this. Hee tilde tilde. Chen tugged at Naruto with the whip in his hand, then turned around abruptly, and slammed the whip on Haruno Sakura. That Haruno Sakura immediately let out an extremely painful scream. And this scream made Naruto, who had already collapsed, completely lost his mind. There was only one thought in his mind, and that was, kill him. Kill him. Nine-tailed chakra also took advantage of the emptiness and gradually wrapped Naruto. Oh, is it finally going to start? I can't wait. After seeing Naruto's changes, Chen showed a playful smile.